All right, good Wednesday morning, everybody.
Mike.
Yeah. Oh, is your mic on?
Yeah, my mic was on there.
Is he on, Jimmy?
He put himself on.
Okay.
He turned himself on.
Yeah.
I turned myself on.
All right.
I was on.
Good morning, everybody. We were betting that you would straggle in here.
Why?
Because you can't. You're a little rookie handling weeknight stuff. You went to the Sandler concert last night.
I did.
I thought you would tie one on.
No, I had a great time. I did make sure to take off my wristband before I got here because I didn't want to be made fun of. Along with my psoriasis is getting better, so we can't make fun of me having a stamp on my wrist. But no, I had 2 beers. We had a good time.
2.
Ryan here.
3.
No,
Always got to have 3.
I had to work in the morning. You know,
We've
and
all
I got
been
home and I watched.
You lost money.
I watched.
I've
the
slept
Laker
at the
game.
studio.
Yeah.
Not this one.
We internally, the people on the zone were having a bet if you'd make it in this
What do you
morning.
mean? I mean, a rookie. I can go out on a weeknight.
It cost me $1. God damn it. Man, next time show up late.
Well, I did forget the crayons and the candy corn. So
People
are in the stream are not going to be happy.
I legitimately.
Hey,
bought them.
50th and Dodge, if you'd like to bring us a small thing of Crayola
I
crayons.
can probably text somebody.
Yeah, that's okay. We're past that. But welcome in, everybody. Last night, the NBA. How about that? Open with a Mike Breen bang, and he wasn't even doing the game. Last night was like a nostalgia night.
Yeah.
And a classic that brought people into the first game of the NBA season. You watched the Lakers game. Draymond had a Draymond night. Steph did Steph things.
Yeah.
That trio when they're together, not bad. Luka looks good. Luka has no help, and Golden State won that game. But last night was kind of like a fun night for nostalgia. And it, round ball rock on NBC, but also the fact that you had network TV that was carrying sports on a Tuesday night, a double dip. I mean, we are back. The 80s were great. Let's live in the 80s. We got Michael Jordan, who is my GOAT, who is being interviewed by Tirico. I mean,
Giving life advice.
America is back, at least for a night when it comes to the NBA. And I would like to say thank you to all the 20 people in Omaha that celebrated opening night with yours truly.
I saw on Twitter. I unfortunately was not able. I wasn't even able to find the NBC Open, but apparently they did the greatest NBA pregame show of all time. Is basically
They had some audio issues.
Yeah.
So
I was being sarcastic.
the first time in 23 years.
But they were apparently they
welcome
killed
you
it
back.
I mean, I was seeing these whole breakdowns, these whole soliloquies on Twitter about, oh my God, Maria Taylor, she did a 3-minute open, and they went to an interview, and then they did this great package. And,
She did a good job.
Oh my God, they interviewed the Rockets, and the Rockets look good. And I'm like, okay, this is like what they do for football every single week, it seems like.
Wow.
But hey, good for the NBA. I'm
one's the
glad we're
curmudgeon here?
able to enjoy their product and actually compliment their entry and exit into their product. So congratulations to them.
Wow, it seems to be a little bit, a little salty there.
There's positivity in my house last night.
was
Minions' first opening night.
I was reading all of these things, and you would have thought like the greatest thing to sports happened. No,
I wouldn't say the greatest thing to sports. It was
great
so
for a Tuesday.
we
night.
like nostalgia, and I think NBC is changing how we watch sports because NBC, whether it be with Sunday Night Football or last night with the NBA, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You're not going to watch more NBA because of what NBC is doing. But opening night on a Tuesday in the middle of October when there is nothing else going on except for some bad Conference USA football, you're going to watch.
Yeah.
But NBC treats everything like it's a big deal. They have a pregame show. Maria Taylor actually looks like she is so glad to be back covering the NBA, where she was with ESPN before she made the move to NBC. But they do the lineups. They got better announcers. I don't know that NBC will become the A network of the NBA, but boy, their presentation makes it like the A network. And it reminds you of the 90s. Like they make it a big deal.
I like the 90s.
And they nailed it last night. Outside of the audio stuff, and maybe they should have thrown in a little AI Bob Costas. I think NBC is changing how we watch sports on network television because they make every event a big deal. I mean, imagine the ratings were pretty good last night.
Oh,
and again, you're probably not going to watch much NBA if you're not an NBA fan, but for one night you watch the game and you got a classic. You got an instant classic. You got a Chris Webber moment. You got to see SGA. You got to see, the pain of the Seattle fans who the night before have Game 7 and then have to watch Clay Bennett stand there while a banner is
sometimes the bad guys
to the
win.
Roof.
That's the moral.
I love what NBC is doing, because today we're going to get the great show and Inside the NBA, but we're going to get narratives they're going to beat into the ground. And I think NBC learns from the other networks when they started their relationship with the NFL. And I think they've learned from the NBA is everything doesn't have to be about LeBron.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We don't have to openly say we love the Knicks, and we can talk about a
Other
plethora of teams, and it's okay. And I think that's how NBC might change how we watch sports, and I'm all here for it.
Good.
I
good
mean, obviously, I would have to go back and watch the pregame and everything like that. But based on like the NFL and what I was watching yesterday with Golden State and the Lakers, it just seems like everything they do is just higher quality. They just have a higher quality. The shots are better. The cuts to the camera are better. The announcers are better. For whatever reason, I feel like
Everything's better.
Their picture is clearer.
Yeah, don't you think it almost feels like they care more?
I think so.
Like they romanticize their events. That's
why we liked it the first time.
Again, their presentation makes it a big deal. And if you're watching, like you're watching,
yeah,
and it looks like a big deal on TV, you're gonna be like, okay, even if you have no rooting interest and you hate the NBA.
They also hire really well. Like Maria Taylor is a great hire. Mike Tirico is an awesome hire. Like I don't know if ESPN has necessarily been doing that the last couple of years.
They have not.
And they
I'll answer that.
And NBC gets like broadcasters. They get like broadcasting
The
talent.
network for
They get people
broadcasters.
who are very articulate and very smart and take their job incredibly seriously. And like you said, they don't go for headlines. They don't go for Perkins, saying catchphrases, or former NBA players saying stupid crap.
No, NBC gives you Sam Perkins.
Exactly. Like, now I will say this.
He wasn't there.
So I saw part of the Michael interview.
Yeah.
Michael looks great.
Hey, he's my GOAT.
I know.
Be careful. He's my GOAT.
I'm not going to say anything negative about Michael. I'll say something negative about Bill Simmons, because
by all means, fire
Wait
away.
a minute. How did he catch us straight? He wasn't even doing the interview.
So I'm scrolling on Twitter,
There's your
and
first
Bill
mistake.
Simmons does his review of opening night.
Yeah.
I love Bill Simmons, but he's like, "Oh my God, it's Michael Jordan. He could tell me how to make a sandwich. He could tell me what he ordered last night. He could say that I had a nice steak and a red wine and potatoes, and I would just sit there and I would listen to him."
Wait, he didn't turn it to the 86 Celtics?
All right, buddy. All right, let's just calm down. Like Michael Jordan, your GOAT, my GOAT, greatest player of all time. Don't get me wrong. But come on. How great were the 90s so much to the fact that you're saying this grown man could just sit there and say a bunch of nonsense and you would be like, "Oh my God, I'm going to soak that up."
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't.
It was a little much.
I love MJ, and I love that MJ tried to play every game of the preseason and all 82 games because it was for the kids and to grow the game.
I was one of those kids.
But you have to admit, he is, even as quiet as he has been post Washington Wizards career, and his kind of failed ownership.
Yeah.
He's kind of been quiet, and then he reminds people who he is with The Last Dance. He is a global icon.
He is.
Like he doesn't speak very often, but when he does, again, I didn't have the reaction that Bill Simmons had.
I know.
But I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this. Now, I think just judging
he had
by
some deep stuff in there. If he could take a pill and go back for one day and be that.
He misses basketball. And the fact that he said, I hadn't picked up a basketball until I rented the house at the Ryder Cup, and the owner had a basketball hoop, and they're like, "Hey,
yeah,
want to take a shot?" And he goes, "I haven't." So he shot a free throw, and he said he was nervous because he was in front of his kids. But he's a global icon.
Yeah.
And there's very few that are in sports today that are a global icon that are American. But it looked like the interview is like a long form interview that they're going to chop up and play periodically.
That's fine. Yeah. Like you said, like he's been relatively quiet, and when he does talk, it matters. And if that's what it's going to take to get him talking for an elongated period of time about the NBA, so be it. I'm not gonna be picky. And also too, like you talk about being a global icon. Like I don't know how many athletes retired or currently playing that have the aura that he still has.
That's what I
like. Like I don't get me wrong. I grew up with LeBron. Love LeBron. One of the greatest players of all time. He's nice. he's auraless. He doesn't have that veil that Michael has. And so it's good that he's back. I just thought it was ridiculous that you had these national media members being like, he could tell me how to make a steak sandwich. I would sit down and
I would listen.
See,
to
that's
Michael.
Bill Simmons, and he's got the. I don't know. I mean, I'm 50-50 on Bill Simmons.
Yeah,
I
love Bill, but I just thought it was
loved
crazy.
him 15 years ago.
I wonder how NBC affiliates were handling last night.
Also
It sounds like when they do weeknight games, the first game will be on the affiliate.
Central.
The second game will be on Peacock.
And then it flips.
I just reminded you, Peacock might be the best subscription I have. There's so much stuff on Peacock because you had to go to Peacock to watch the start of the Golden State Laker game last night.
Okay.
So you realize, oh, thank God I have a Peacock subscription. And around here we need it because of the teams that play on it. I wonder how, like, WWT here in Omaha, how are they feeling?
Were they upset?
Well, I'd like to know, like, the switchboard.
Yeah.
Where people
what is this?
What's one of NBC's shows during the week? The Voice?
Yes.
Like The Voice gets bumped, and so people are calling Channel 6. They go, "What's up with this? Why do you have this NBA on?" Because we're not really an NBA market. There's probably 20 of us that celebrated last night that the NBA was opening.
I added one last night.
Well, you got your team
wrong.
tonight.
Yeah.
Because now the ESPN. I mean, NBA's more. The NBA season starts way too early. I think it should start on Christmas Day. I think it should end about the end of July.
I think that's a good call.
But tonight you get the Inside the NBA for the first time, which is still being filmed in Atlanta, but it'll be aired on ESPN. But they do do a good job of marketing right away because San Antonio, Dallas play tonight. So you get Wemby against Flag.
Yeah.
And then before that, you get Cleveland and New York, the two top teams in the East. But
best moment last night, other than the fact that NBC made me care about a game between two teams I hate. We're back. We're so back. Yeah. I'm looking at the minion. I was like, wait a minute. You've never seen basketball. Come here. Sat her on the lap. She's hooked. She loves it.
Do you know what the nail is? Do you know what the block is? Oh my
she
God.
was in
Are you know what the flop is? Do you know what the block charge is in the NBA?
She's got the flop down.
Do you think that Durant clapped, or did he pull a Chris Webber last night?
You see him? He's crying. You cry.
Like, I was clapping. I wasn't calling.
Oh, you haven't. You had to look at the clip.
I have to look at the clip. I watched the. Can we talk? Did you watch the Golden State Lakers game?
Yes.
The Lakers without LeBron are in major trouble.
Yeah,
that was
Hillbilly Kobe ain't gonna help out Luka.
Damn. That's too bad. I like it.
So Austin Reeves looked good. Luka looked fine. The amount of times though where Luka made a great pass and just somebody clanked a three and it wasn't even competitive.
Like I said, we're back.
It made me sad and think of like what is the Luka Lakers going to look like when LeBron retires?
Can he get half an assist for that?
Like, no, it was ridiculous.
They'll probably redo the roster. They
have to.
They're rough. Like Luka was really, really good last night. But let's also be honest, Golden State played pretty well. My guy,
did.
Fifth best player on my list.
Pretty darn
had a
good.
dagger last night. He didn't do night. When they're still a good team. I mean, their offense, when they're passing the ball and they've got shooters, because Draymond had a peak Draymond game last night. What do you have? 8.7 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 personal fouls, 1 technical, and he was a plus 20. Like that was
so back.
That was peak Draymond to begin the year.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler was a perfect 16 of 16 at the line. When Butler, Green, and Curry are together, and I think it's been very rare since Jimmy has been in San Francisco, I think they're 28-8. Noah Eagle threw that stat out last night. But the other thing is, the other development for Golden State, because my team wanted him, Kuminga. How about that? So what did Steve Kerr do to him? Because Kuminga wanted out, and then he's back in. And last night he makes a great late defensive play on Luka, and then he runs the floor. I was like, whoa.
He looked long.
I kind of, you know what? I get a little tingle when I hear round ball rock. I get a little tingle when I see peak Golden State.
I loved like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like he's pointing up at the screen. When they did the Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry pick and roll, I was like, oh my God, like I can watch this all day. And then they had the back cut from Peyton on the and he drops it off right there. I was like, we are back. Good basketball is here. Now here's a terrible take. If I were making like the best 15-man roster I possibly could, Steph Curry would be on it.
Oh,
okay. And so would
said best 15.
Wait. And
glad he made it.
And so would Draymond Green. Draymond Green would
All
be
right.
on my best 15-man roster. And here's why.
Is
Because
this all time or just right now?
all time.
Okay.
All time.
All
right. No.
Because his chemistry with Steph Curry is just absolutely unmatched. When they do
Jack Haley and Dennis Rodman.
when they
Rest
do
in
the
peace,
dribble
Jack.
handoff, or they do that action where
Yeah.
they toss it to Draymond and then Steph runs all the way around, he hands it off and he sets that screen. I can watch, like you said, I can watch Pete Colton State play basketball all day. And the LA Lakers are going to find out this year, verticality is not physicality.
Mhm.
Okay. Just because you have a bunch of tall guys with long arms does not mean you're physical.
They still have
in the
Anthony
paint.
Davis.
They have a bunch of wusses,
he
is what
hurt?
they have. Jackson Hayes is a wuss. DeAndre Ayton is a wuss.
Hmm.
That was
They
kind
will-
of fun to stand there and watch Aiden shoot last night.
It was
The
disgusting.
people in Phoenix aren't sad to see him gone.
And then you
They are
see Aiden try and do multiple turnaround baby hooks and just
Yeah.
absolutely just short
Yeah.
arm it.
Look,
I mean,
I'm
it was-
Kareem.
LeBron won't end his career in the Lakers. He'll want out. They'll trade him to a contender.
I don't think that's a bad
Miami,
take.
let's go. Bring it back.
By the way, what does DeAndre Ayton's hair do with the tanned cornrows? Like he's
Do not know.
I can't judge.
he's got like a beige
Yeah, I can't-
mahogany.
You're asking the wrong person about hair, bro.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I'd love to have
It's a
that
bad
problem.
look for
All right,
Ayton.
coming up on the show, Jay Moore stops by at 8 o'clock. He's got a thought or two on what happened Friday night at Minnesota. John Walker will be in. Big East Media Days were yesterday. Creighton men 3rd, Creighton women 5th. And John Walker is doing his own poll in the World Herald. He has brought it back. The Syracuse newspaper did about 15 years ago, and then it went away. So John Walker has brought it back. So we'll talk some ball with J-Dub, and then Brandon Vogel stops by at 9:40. That is the lineup brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. All right, Troy Dannon spoke last night.
Mhm.
John Butler spoke. Dana Holgerson spoke. It's time to speak. So I am in this college football confidence pool. This
Okay.
thing's been going on. It's an Omaha tradition. It's got like 150 people in it.
That's awesome.
So it's just for college football, but they send out 10 games every week, and you do your confidence level of 10 is your most confident,
Mhm.
1 your least confident. Very rarely though it has a Nebraska game on it.
Okay.
They just leave that one out unless it's a big game.
Sure.
I noticed when I got my my entry for this week yesterday that the Nebraska Northwestern game is listed. And so I'm sitting there going, wow, this is a crazy game on Saturday morning because the winner becomes bowl eligible.
We forget that.
Wow.
Yeah, the winner becomes bowl eligible. And, as this week has gone on and you've heard the head coach talk, the coordinators talk, players talk, it has been still very mixed on what's going to happen. I think this is a good bounce back team.
Mm-hmm.
So the gut is churning on what I'm going to pick on Friday. I may not pick this game, by the way.
What? Kirk?
Yeah, no. Because there is part of me that, okay, I think I have a handle on what I think will happen. And then I hear somebody speak and I'm like,
Yeah.
So I may be Kirk Herbstreit and
Oh.
pass on a pick on Friday.
I literally get asked at home, who did Gary pick?
No.
Why,
you
do
don't
you
wanna-
get asked who I picked?
No.
But there is, but now like some people have,
I include
it's
it,
a
though.
general sentiment, and I'm not saying people are wrong that Nebraska winning Saturday is in doubt, and then winning much more the rest of the year, and it's okay to feel
Yeah.
that way because there are some red flags, but there also is some things that like, okay, they're good enough. So I think they're a good bounce back team. But what do you guys think I should do in the Nebraska Northwestern game? And the slate ain't great this weekend.
No.
Like Minnesota, Iowa. Let's see. I would probably put the Nebraska Northwestern game 4th in the pecking order of Big Ten games. I'd go Minnesota, Iowa.
Okay.
Illinois, Washington is a sneaky game in
I
Seattle.
like
Yes.
that game a lot.
And then Michigan State. I mean, it's not a great slate.
No.
UCLA, Indiana is the big noon game. But what should I will let you guys and everybody
Okay.
else decide what I should do. First of all, who I should pick, and then what number should I assign to the winner of Saturday's game in this confidence pool. Now, I will tell you, do not F it up because I am like kind of on the cusp of being in the money for the season.
Okay.
So if one game does
All
it,
right.
I'm coming
All
for
right.
you.
I understand the nerves now.
Nebraska 3.
Okay.
Nebraska 3. I think Nebraska's going to win. I fully believe that for two reasons. First off, I know Northwestern football. Okay. Like to think I know Northwestern football pretty well. This happens a lot, ladies and gentlemen, where they are 5-2 and they're not supposed to be here. You went into the season knowing about 4 guys' name. You now know 8 dudes' name. Yeah. And you're like, all right, hell yeah, man. Like Kamalafe, Hyman, Griffin Wild, what a wide receiver. These linebackers look great. And you start thinking.
I do like Aiden Hubbard.
And he's a great player. And you start thinking ahead and you're like, oh, they might go to this bowl or they might do this or maybe they might accomplish that. And it gets in their head. It even happened with Fitz. Yeah. They would get in their own head and they would choke and they would have a really bad game. I think that's coming for them just based on their team history. And also to your point, I just think that this coaching staff with their back against the wall, the roster with the back against the wall, understanding the mistakes that they've made back at home, they're going to come back and look faster. That's just what I think. I think they're going to come back and be more physical.
So Cap is right. This is how it changed because I've listened to chatter on Monday and Tuesday. I said on Sunday on the show I do on Sunday, Nebraska will bounce back and win. Now, I like your Nebraska and putting a 3 on the confidence level. But there's just I think there's Minnesota opened up doors to have deeper discussions.
Oh,
so. This is now that everybody has spoke this week, and the next time anybody speaks will be Thursday. You can lose to Minnesota, and you can get beat by Minnesota, and you just say, "Hey, that's football." The style, I'm not necessarily like the overconfident, just checking out. Just the style of the physicality. That's the one that draws a red flag, because if I sit here and say, man, this program's got some momentum, there's a lot of things to like about it. There's winners and losers in football. And you can go and lose a football game and you're like, yeah, you know what? We played pretty well, but we lost. They were the better team that day. But you can't lose in that style.
No.
I can even say, hey, you can lose to Minnesota, you can lose to Fleck, but you can't lose in that style and say, remain calm. I'm Kevin Bacon on Animal House. Everything is fine. You just can't do that. And that's a flag that I can't get over right now, is losing in that kind of a style when you are in year 3, whether the AD says it's a rebuild or not. You can't lose that style that for far into your tenure.
Sure.
And that's the one that still sticks with me going back and listening to, Dana and Butler yesterday, because I think they said some things that I think people ran with.
Yeah.
They also said some things that are like, you need to file that away for like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now.
So you make one mistake one time, and this is true in life. You make one mistake one time, and everyone around you is like, okay, that's a mistake, right? And then you make the same mistake a second time, and then you legitimately get worried, and you're like, all right, maybe like I'm not going to trust that they're not going to make this mistake until they don't. It's like me with my keys. You know,
that's a great point.
Like I lost my keys, and Gary, you were like, "All right, it happens." Then I lost it a second time a couple of days ago.
Water's wet.
This kid just might be perpetually losing his keys.
There's an energy drink in the bathroom.
I'm like, this secondary might perpetually just not know how to fill run gaps, right? Like that was the problem with the Minnesota game. It was the same crap happened against Michigan, and I think after Michigan, you could have said, we made excuses for him. Oh, they can fix that. They could go back. They can clean that up. Oh, it was just Michigan. Yeah. Oh, they had better players. You can't make any of those excuses with Minnesota. And then, I am very concerned with some of the things that they said yesterday. Like I am overly concerned with the whole, they made one big run play. And from that point on, I was really hesitant with how I was calling the rest of the game. Like, what does that say about the confidence in your defense? What does that say about the confidence in your play calling?
I think that's a comment that people took way too far.
Sure,
that we can discuss.
Okay, I think rightfully so. That did kind of concern me, though.
Well, I don't think he explained it very well.
Okay.
Yesterday was, and I don't want to be body language, but one coordinator has been through the rigors.
Sure.
The other has not been on the hot seat before. That's how I looked at the way that they approached the questions that were really, really good. There were some hard questions asked yesterday.
Yeah.
Nobody is ever satisfied with us in the media and what questions we ask. But I think Butler's comment kind of all of a sudden had legs and it was running away from what he meant. He just did not explain it. He explained it without crushing somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
Okay.
All right, you have the lineup. Lots of discussion this morning. We're going to talk NBA for 4 hours.
I wouldn't mind it. The Bulls play tonight.
Hey, your race to get to 39 wins.
Did you bet the over or did you bet the under? Did you bet it at all? I wouldn't have bet on this.
Taxes
team.
and the Bulls will win 39 games.
I am very excited about tonight, and I was trying to explain this to somebody. People don't understand when the Bulls are good, the drug it brings. Okay, the Bulls being
we understand
good and competitive.
We lived through it.
The nostalgia.
Have the Bulls been good?
No, they haven't been. But like,
used to be able to watch them every night on WGN.
Have the Bulls been good in your lifetime?
Yes,
it's true.
They were good in 07 with Kirk Heinrich.
You were a tiny baby boy then. Well, I remember that.
I will never forget Captain Kirk and Tyrus Thomas. Never forget those two.
Oh, nobody can.
Actually,
a guy at Phillips 66 this morning said, "Hey,
they were talking about double T
opening day of Bulls basketball.
Tyrus Thomas,
Jordan, Thomas, Pippen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They've been very
Dickie
good
Simpkins.
in my lifetime. All right. They've probably been outside of the Chicago Blackhawks. They've probably been the team that has been the most good consistently from like 08 to 2016, which even included a Fred Hoiberg year. Like they were pretty damn good. I don't know. It just brings excitement. I want to see.
You are an old soul.
I want to see the red and white.
You never told us. What did your flip of the coin?
Bulls. I'm on the
so
Bulls.
We're off the
baby.
Blackhawks. So we're actually playing decent
hockey right now.
Yeah, great moment, by the way, last night in the NHL. So Brad Marchand, Marchie, returned home to Boston last night. And after the first commercial stoppage in the first period, they did a video tribute to him. I mean, he's beloved. He won a cup in that town. Winning a cup in Boston greater than winning a cup in Florida.
Yes.
Oh, God,
slightly.
Yes.
Slightly.
So he returned home last night and they did a video presentation on the board and he was crying.
That's crazy.
it was pretty cool. That was a really, really good game. He was emotional and that was a good hockey game last night. But yeah,
Bulls are back. Bulls. Come on.
39 wins. That's okay.
Play-in game?
Buzelis.
Oh yeah, they're required to play in the play-in.
It's like
game.
the Texans in the even if they don't make the playoffs, they play that game.
Like what if they take a step? Like what if
win
so
40?
they'll be an 8 seed.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
They'll host the play-in game.
That'd be awesome. I'd probably go. The last Chicago playoff game I went to was a Bulls playoff game. It was awesome until they lost.
All right, we're off and running. It's Gary and Matt with Jimmy on a Wednesday. Jay Moore is going to stop by coming up at 8. He had some great comments last night. He talked as an analyst and as a player on what happened in Minnesota, and he'll talk to us as Jay Moore coming up at 8 o'clock this morning on 1620 The Zone. Hey, also don't forget, not only with day 2 of the NBA, we get Conference USA football tonight.
Getting close to
8
action.
o'clock.
It's
Missouri State and New Mexico State. Here's what's unfortunate, though, because it is 6:43 and it's pitch dark out here in Omaha.
Yeah.
So the NBA is back.
Mhm.
We have Tuesday night college football. It is getting darker faster. Don't we fall back next weekend?
Weekend after.
Yeah. Winter is coming. I
Mhm.
can't handle at 6:30 in the morning that it's dark. I can't handle at 6:30 at night it's dark.
That one's worse.
So there's chance that I will never move to Alaska, even though I love my mom's time in Juneau. I'm not moving there, especially during the winter.
Yeah.
I'm glad that basketball and all these sports are going on, but this makes me very sad.
I thought
that
of you
it's
this
dark
morning.
outside. It is pitch dark.
It's like we're doing after
It's
hours.
6:44.
We're used to the night.
Let me have some light. Let's fix the clocks, okay?
I thought of you when I got in my car this morning because I was
Whoa.
like,
He had his keys.
I got in my car. I did have my keys.
Yeah.
And I was like, this sucks. Like it was cold in my car.
Yeah.
This blows. Like I am going to miss the hopping into my car and not having to put on my heat. The fact that you could just turn on the car and drive, or like think, oh my God, I have to put on the cool air. And I was like, is this how Gary lives life every single day? Because you are thin blooded and you get cold in 70-degree weather. And so I was like, I couldn't imagine being Gary Sharp and feeling this way in like regular human temperatures, let alone like.
I have not gotten to experience the smell of the first time you turn on your furnace, but when I walked in, they had just turned on the furnace in the building, and so you got that smell.
Do you know?
I paused and
I got my.
Do you know how I know that I live in a place with a bunch of college students? I got a text from my apartment being like, "Hey guys, we're turning on the furnaces. It's going to smell weird. Don't freak out." Okay, that was the text. They're like, if you smell a weird smell and it's hot, that's just the furnace being turned on. I don't know if you guys know, it's becoming cold in Omaha now. And I was like,
the beer can.
I was like, I'm young. Even I know not to freak out when the furnace is being turned on. So,
well, welcome. It is. It's cold outside, so it's the hoodie and shorts. It's the Nebraska fall wardrobe. But if you're standing at the bus stop and you have to go to school early, you might want to bundle up a bit. Okay, so last night, how was it? You went to the Adam Sandler show.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam Sandler lives a great life. It's great to be a friend of Adam Sandler.
Mm-hmm.
You get to tag along from Chicago to Omaha. You get a run in at Creighton's practice facility. Everybody loves you. Everybody knows you. You can dress like that and nobody cares. They're like, that's just Adam. And then you take the stage. How was he last night?
He was great. It was a show. It wasn't like it wasn't just a stand-up routine. It was a full-on show.
Was it packed?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the back part of the pit was a little empty. And I'll say this. I think they wanted to start the show at 7:30. They couldn't start the show until like 8.
Because of construction outside of the chai?
Because people weren't in seats. By like 7:45, it still was really, really empty. So I think it got a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
But he was incredible. The Chris Farley song was absolutely awesome. He played it. It was so good. I almost cried. I listened to it so many times before, though, that it didn't have the emotional effect. He also did an incredible tribute to just comedians. Like he just kind of like ran through, like it was beautiful. They had on the TV all the comedians he loved, and he kind of sang a song in tribute to all of them. It was great. It was great. I was so impressed. The lighting was incredible. It was like a concert. His piano guy was awesome. You had to sit through maybe the worst opening act I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, no.
I don't want to say her name, but if you were at the concert, she was terrible.
Was she local or was she national?
No, she was with Sandler.
Okay.
She was one of Sandler's
She's
people.
a Sandler friend.
She was on SNL, and she was
so who was it?
Her name was Sarah Sherman.
Okay.
Look, it's just not my type of comedy. It was disgusting. I nearly threw up. She was talking.
Was it Nikki Glazer-esque?
No, because Nikki Glazer's funny. She was just disgusting.
Nikki Glazer is funny.
She was talking about pooping and peeing and just vulgar stuff, and it never hit home. David Spade was incredible. He's just mastered the art of being his own stand-up. Like, it's just such a unique form of comedy.
I saw David Spade at the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
How was that? Really? That is such a random ass.
So back in the day, like in the 90s, for like homecoming week, they would do like a big they had the Tom Green,
That's what we did too.
humping Little Red.
Okay.
But they'd always have events for homecoming.
Okay.
So like they had like pep rallies, like they put people in Memorial Stadium. But they would do
Cosby
something
one
once a week or once a year.
They had who?
We had Cosby one year when I was in school.
That's insane. We had Waka Flocka Flame. You got David
I
Spade.
got David Spade, and he was at the Devaney Center.
We got Roofie.
He was really, really good, but he made a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I bet he did.
So he's
awesome.
part of the tour. Did Rob Schneider do anything, or does he just sit in the front row?
No. So he didn't do a stand-up routine, but they did a song called Station 69 between him and Sandler, and it was the funniest one of the night. It was, I can't describe to you what Station 69 is, but it has to do with the number and space.
Nice.
And so, yeah, it was great. I caught a liar, though. There's a liar in the Creighton athletic department.
Whoa. Oh, you got to be careful here. You're the new voice of Blue Jay After Hours.
Minnie Bishop.
I saw Jackson
that show's
McAndrew.
called. Okay.
He's not 6'7". Okay.
Okay.
He's 6'9". Okay. That guy.
Okay.
That guy is. So I saw him for the second time outside of, because a couple weeks ago when I went to the volleyball game.
Yeah.
I saw him walking around. I saw him walking around after the Sandler concert. He is so tall. I'm like, I had to be my Dan and I was like, we got to stop looking at him because we could not stop looking at him when we were walking because he was just a tall guy. I was like, there's no way that guy's 6'7". He is 6'9".
So he had a good day. He was in New York City in the morning and at Adam Sandler at night.
Yeah, he was.
So you're calling him a liar? Are you calling Rob Anderson a liar?
I'm just saying.
Are you calling the entire Creighton basketball program a liar because they're fudging on Jackson McAndrew is actually 2 inches taller.
I'm being facetious.
Shouldn't it be smaller?
That's usually how it is.
Yeah, don't they inflate?
I'm telling Wembanyama, Wembanyama
he's 8'4",
but they
officially 7'4".
He was 7'4". He's 7'6". And
how would you know?
Yeah, that's what people are talking about.
How would people know? If
Let me call home.
Unless you were living with Manute Bol or Chuck Levitt, or not Chuck Levitt, Chuck Nevitt, Chuck Nevitt.
George Mirasan.
Or Kelly Lively or Rich King. How would you know if somebody is 7'6"? You're like, look, oh, that's 7'6". Omaha has a 7-footer for the first time. Now he's 7'1".
Yeah.
I have no idea if he's 7'2". Okay. But I just know that he's really tall.
I'm going off of the San Antonio and NBA people who are like, he's taller than 7'4", and I'm trusting their judgment. But I looked at Jackson McAndrew. I'm like, that's an athlete. That's a tall dude.
Dad said he's 7'4". He's 7'4".
I'm sure he's probably 6'7", but he looks a lot bigger in person. They usually looks like elite. Like now, all right, here's a height liar. Kevin Durant for years has been saying he's 6'10". Okay, he's 7'1". All right, everybody knows that he's trying. I don't know why these big men want to keep it a little bit lower. These power forwards don't want to play center, but he's 6'10".
Okay, so I'm going to put you in touch with Jackson McAndrew. Okay.
He might be a little taller than 6'7".
Yeah, he's listed as 6'10".
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's proper then. Then I'm totally wrong. I thought he was 6'7".
Yeah.
He's a big. I mean, he is.
Have Coach Matt call you and be like, he's 6'10".
I thought he was 6'7" last. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, you ever try if you went to that softball or the volleyball? Because he was, I was sitting with the Martins. He was behind us, and I felt bad for him having to sit in the seats. Because his knees are like up to his chin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's 6'10". So your eyes are okay.
My eyes are great.
Would you like to apologize to everybody associated with Creighton athletics?
I was being joking.
You called them a liar.
Mm-hmm. I was joking.
Go after the Blue Crew next.
I was more so complimenting.
Did you just try and go with he's too short?
No, not at all. He's quite the opposite. I mean, I kind of felt
DePaul might get them
because he was in a group of people. And all of the people that he was with were clearly athletes, and they were just so much taller.
Him and Isaac Trout hang out a lot. I think they both have their girlfriends, may be both also student athletes. That's one thing about Creighton. Creighton basketball players like other student athletes.
Yeah,
very sportive.
I would
some places the team might like other student athletes, but the coach of that particular team says you're not dating those guys on the football or basketball team. I did see though, so he started at 8, you said? The whole show started at 8?
Yeah.
He must have been out of there by 10.
Yeah.
Because they got a police escort to the airport.
Okay, so it zoomed right by us. It was crazy. It was pretty dope. It was like
4 Cadillacs.
There also was an announcement yesterday because I know you like him. So did you see who is coming to the Chai? They're like, Bargatze goes to PBA, sets a arena record for a comedian. Sandler does well on a Tuesday night.
He did well.
Did you see who's coming in March?
Disney on Ice is going to be there from March 5th to March 8th.
Hell yes, let's go.
unless
I'm
they
kinda
all
down.
fall down. I don't know that that's comedy.
The keg will get you tickets.
John Mulaney.
No way.
Yeah, John Mulaney is coming. They announced it yesterday.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I might get VIP passes. I love John Mulaney. John Mulaney is probably my favorite comedian. That's incredible. That was announced yesterday.
I mean, it's kind of a step down because he's going to play Wrigley Field next year as well.
We have a baseball stadium.
I'm
we have 2 of them.
I literally thought Jackson McGandry.
I don't know in Omaha.
I
don't know if in Omaha Mulaney could fill the Chai.
Oh,
or not the Chai, but the Chuck.
Oh, the Chuck.
Yeah, like Wrigley is special.
Yeah.
It's a comedy show.
And he's from around that area.
Yeah.
I mean, he can give the whole city of Arlington Heights 1,000 tickets to make sure they fill it out. Like if it gets a little close.
There may be. So listening to Dan, and we'll talk about some of the things he said last night. They're looking at a show. I thought it would be Luke Combs, but Luke Combs doesn't believe that Memorial Stadium in Lincoln is one of the top venues. Morgan Wallen. There is my ear to the ground says that Morgan Wallen is getting ready to announce another tour in the summer of 26.
Really?
So maybe that because they are pursuing a large show to bring to Memorial Stadium. I mean, you got 100,000 ticket requests for the Bananas.
It's crazy.
I believe they're going to sell out.
I think so.
Hot take.
But they would like to do another show. So Morgan Wallen is like that could fill a stadium that possibly has some tour dates to announce.
That'll be.
I don't know. That would. I think he would. I think he would come close to filling Memorial Stadium.
Well, I think he would because I went to his show at PBA, and that was the Colorado game a couple of years ago, and that was a really hard ticket to get.
Yeah.
Like that was a super expensive ticket, and there were a lot of people who were just down there to be down there. I mean,
he went to Camp Randall and packed the place. I think he did 2 nights up in Madison.
I think he'd pack. I think he'd get Memorial Stadium. I mean. Yeah. He's got so many songs though that I don't know what his set list would look like.
Well, there's rumors that he is going to announce tour dates for the summer of 26. He had a long tour, like he does 2 nights in every town. He would only do the weekend, like a Friday, Saturday. But maybe he should turn some of that money into his baseball coach at Tennessee. I watched yesterday. This is how sicko I was, just because I wanted to see it.
Tony V. Watt.
So Tennessee had a scrimmage yesterday, baseball scrimmage.
Yeah.
And Tony Vitello has been offered the San Francisco Giants job. And he hasn't left yet. And I don't know what the equivalent of Vatican smoke is in Knoxville.
Remember Calipari's store?
He was there yesterday, and they packed the place. Like, they've put a ton of money into that program. And I think him and Van Horn and Jay Johnson are the top 3 coaches that are paid in college baseball.
Oh, sure.
And they just redone Lindsey Nelson Stadium after they won the national championship. But people are chanting his name during this scrimmage.
My God.
It's pretty wild. I don't know what he's going to do. But I would be very, very sad for college baseball because I love Tennessee and I love Tony V. It'd be great for college baseball, though, that Major League Baseball has that much respect that they hire a guy. Wes Johnson was on Jay Johnson's staff at LSU, got hired by the Twins to be their pitching coach before he got hired as the head coach at Georgia.
Oh.
If Major League Baseball hired a sitting college baseball coach, that would say a lot about college baseball, also a lot about Tony V.
Mm-hmm.
Then I might have to pay attention to the Giants, and I don't want to.
That's a good point.
But Buster Posey, being a college guy,
as
the general manager, I'm sure has a lot to do with it. But I was watching that yesterday, and people are going, Tony V, Tony V, Tony V. I'm like, oh man. We would miss Tony V in Omaha. I love Tony V.
What do you think about Suzuki being hired as the Angels?
It's a great move.
Okay.
Now, he's in a terrible organization that I don't know that I'd want to deal with that front office, but do not discount the fact of having a Japanese manager.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that angle.
And he was with the Twins when I was with the Twins.
Yeah.
You could tell that he'd be in coaching or a manager someday.
Mm-hmm.
He's just very, very bright. But I think his Japanese background in today's baseball will go a long way, but he has to deal with the Angels.
I wanted to see my boy Albert.
He might be the Padres manager.
I would not.
That tells you everything you need to know about the front office of the Angels.
I just want to see Five back. I just want to see him walking around with a hat on. I just want to see Pujols.
He does.
I know, but I want to see him managing. I'm sorry, I just love him. There's just some guys you just love, and you just want to see him back in a jersey, just in the spotlight. I want to see him. This is my pea brain baseball take. I'm not gonna compete with you at all talking about any sort of thing of the game. I'm just gonna tell you, dudes I saw in a jersey when I was young. I want to see them in a jersey when I'm older. That's all I want.
All right. When we come back, we're going to do a little experiment that's going to blow your mind, a little science experiment that has football wrapped around it. Jay Moore coming up at 8, John Walker as well, to remind Matt that Jackson McAndrew is now 6'10".
I'm a dummy. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe you saw him without shoes on. Was he barefoot?
I don't know, but I looked at it.
That's true.
Last night?
Might have
Yeah.
been barefoot.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
all my point is this. For whatever reason, I thought he was 6'7". I looked at him and I go, that is an athlete that could play at the next. Like he just looks good. You guys just look the part. You get all excited about Berkay. Oh, Berkay looks the part. Berkay got skinny. I look at Jackson
Always comes
McAndrew.
back.
I go, that's an elite. I go, that's an elite athlete.
All right. Put you in touch with him.
You're a Butin gel guy. I'm a McAndrew guy. That's how it is. You like Berkay. I like Jackson.
Berkay much funnier, though. He doesn't know anything about anything besides Nebraska basketball. Great content put out by Nebraska basketball yesterday, having the international guys try and figure out logos.
Oh, God.
Berkay happens to think that the Baltimore Oriole logo is the Oregon Ducks. Just play basketball. Do something this year. We'll do something in hour 2 coming up next. All right, hour number 2 on a Wednesday. Welcome in, everybody. Head of a weekend of sports and football, Nebraska Northwestern at 11 a.m. 6.5 still?
I can look. I guarantee it probably is, though. I'm looking now. It is.
If it has gone down further, we will have to have an all-show players meeting to discuss why the line keeps dropping.
Went back up.
Okay.
Plus 7.5.
Ooh, might have been something that was said yesterday. They heard that Nebraska at 5-2 had a players meeting, and they're like, "Oh, I bet they hashed things out. And I bet they're ready to play." Okay.
I don't understand why anybody in Vegas that has any sort of sharp money, first off, out of everything that's on the slate, would be betting a lot of money on Nebraska, and secondly, would continue to bet on Nebraska because Nebraska's 2-5
Take
against
the
the spread, and they're 0-5 against the spread against Power 5 teams.
That doesn't instill a lot of confidence. Just win, baby. Just win. Just win.
I've been using the excuse. I'm like, look, I'm looking at this game this way, but Vegas must know something that I don't. No, we've been incorrect. Like, we've known it the entire time.
I don't know. I'm taking Matt over Vegas.
You know, I have this dumb rule where I don't bet on Nebraska football.
Mm-hmm.
If I did this year, the mixed sports book would be rolling in it. We'd be doing incredible.
Back to Jackson McAndrew, who is 6'10".
Congratulations.
I think we just get him on the show.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
Matt says, as my kids would say, 6'7". Okay, we
Indeed.
got to stop this trend
Why?
because I was at Target recently,
They were yelling it.
and maybe no, I'm not being get off my lawn guy, but I just like, oh my God, I feel bad for the parent because this mom had the boy looked like he might have been 9, and the girl was like, she looked like she maybe 7, so like third.
She was
First-
six.
So they're
First-
saying
she
that
was
they
6
have
or
no
7.
idea.
Okay, so that's all they were saying was 6'7", 6'7". I was like, this is funny, but mom was about to blow a gasket in the middle of Target, and I'm like, 6'7", 6'7". This boy, he's just walking around like they weren't really talking to each other.
See,
There's like 6'7", 6'7",
Like the
6'7".
old
This
person
is-
muttering in
hey,
the airport.
Hey, that this got started, and very few people even know what it means, if it has any meaning
it
whatsoever.
doesn't.
That it is driving people crazy. So 6'7" sounds better than 6'10".
6'7".
Yeah, we'll get Jackson on the show, and
Thank goodness I have an infant.
you guys
that
take a
can't talk.
picture together.
Kids these days, like we used to, they have like all the TikTok and the memes and the
Yeah.
sayings and whatnot. Like back in my day, we had like physical things, right? It was the Pokemon cards, or it was the
Yeah.
Beyblades, or it was,
I
you know,
remember that.
like we would be
Remember your
or
kind.
do you remember the silly bands? You remember the silly bands back in the day?
I would recognize them. I don't know if that
You guys didn't have any zone silly bands?
I don't think we call them silly bands.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking
They're
about.
like in the shape, like I
Yeah.
had the Stanley Cup ones. I was wearing Stanley Cup like silly bands and stuff like that. And like
Respect.
you go to the Jewel Osco and
Mhm.
right, and mom's looking at News Weekly right before you're about to check out and put all the things on the counter, and there's just a little bag of silly bands, and you kind of
Sneak it in
slyly
there.
you slyly grab, and you kind of just drop it into the grocery.
Where the hell that
grocery-
come from?
Exactly. You're like, well, I just want silly bands.
I
And
need
then
it.
she'd throw
I'm
it
gonna
in there,
save
and
it
then
forever.
and then you would go, and she'd be like, "Where are all your silly bands going?" And be like, "I traded them." I was like, "I wanted a shark. I got a shark." That's
Those
what we
were,
had.
those were better times for me when I wore a puka shell necklace, or I wore a
Same.
necklace, and I wore, like wristbands
My
and
hemp
stuff,
necklace.
and rings and watches.
Mhm.
Now I'm nude. That's okay.
What? What? No, you're not.
little
You're
chilly.
fully clothed.
I don't have anything. I got nothing. I got nothing on the hands. I got nothing on the wrists. None of that stuff. I'm
You-
nude.
You don't have a ice on your wrist with a
Mm.
dab of ranch.
No, I did not. Okay, kid. 6'7".
6'7".
Kid.
Even though
heard.
Jackson McAndrew is 6'10".
I told you that. I looked at him, and for whatever reason, I thought he was listed shorter, and I go, "That's a tall guy."
I don't think you're allowed by law, if somebody is taller than you, to try and pick their height.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
if
big
somebody
time.
is shorter than you, then you can. You can go, oh, you maybe look like you're 5'8" because I'm 5'11".
that is no. You're right there. Now there's this guy on Instagram who I used to like, but now
Oh, Are we now on Instagram? We're going to pick a height.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no. I used to like this guy, and now I don't like this guy because
Sorry.
he actually is 6'7", and he
6'7" is like the perfect height to play basketball, by the way.
by far
Yeah.
you can be
Pick
athletic
and
on
pop.
the wings,
Pick and pop guy.
Pretty
you
much
can
play
still dribble with the
3-4
basketball. You go
different
ahead and get
positions.
some rebounds.
Yeah.
No, he's tall, and he's now it's become his brand essentially that he's tall, and now he like makes these events is like tall people hangouts. Like, hey, if you're a tall person, come to this hotel, and we're gonna go to this ballroom and hang out, and you can meet other tall people, as if like they're a
Good way to make
marginalized.
groupies.
Well, it's like as if they're like a marginalized community. I would love to be tall. Okay, I would love. What do you mean you have it tough because you're tall? You have it great because you're tall. Being tall is great.
Some of these hotels
I
don't
wish I
have
was
beds
tall.
that accommodate you.
Do you know what I would do if I was 4 inches taller? I'd rule the world at this point.
Well, if you were in Fletch and you had Chick Hearn narrating a dream, 6'5", but with the afro, you're 6'9".
I didn't get
You
that.
would like that
over
movie.
my head.
It's a good movie.
That's put that on the list of movies to watch.
I wish I was taller. I wish I was a baller.
Fletch was, man, playing for the Lakers wearing 99.
Especially in those days.
Oh,
They were loaded. Magic, Kareem.
I mean,
Yeah.
think
Fletch.
about Erwin Fletcher. He could go get buckets. I mean,
I don't know who you're talking about. I've never heard of this
Yeah.
guy.
Late in Game 7 of the 84 finals, they would have gone to him more. They might have won.
Have you guys ever been talking to a friend of yours and like you reference a player and you're like, oh, he played for the whomever, and they got offended that you thought that they didn't know who they played for or who they were? Does that ever happen to you?
Of course I know who Paul McKeskey
No,
is.
that happened to me yesterday because I was talking about Rick Fox to somebody.
yeah.
And I was like, Rick Fox, the LA Lakers small
NBA
forward.
champion.
And he goes, you don't think I know who Rick Fox
was on
is?
Big
He
Bang
got-
Theory.
He got legitimately offended. Was he on Big Bang Theory?
Yeah. Hey, it's all ball
It was
bearings
Penny's ex something.
nowadays.
That's another one that just went right over the head.
Well, you should always respond to a question. I please do this today because you have no idea what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
But
zero.
you are probably the very rare person at 1620 The Zone that has never watched Fletch. Respond to every question today. I have a lease with an option to buy, and see where that gets you.
Do you want me to like try and drop that multiple times during the crossover today and see if either Odson or Happer picks
I
up on
think
it?
of the rare movies that Happer watches, I believe that he has watched Fletch.
Yeah, you don't want to go toe to toe with movies with Otson. He'll sweep your ass so fast.
I'm
it'll-
aware.
It'll be
I'm aware. We
Yeah.
tried doing
average margin of victory be 22.7.
Him and I tried doing a crossover, just him and I, and that was an experience. We're gonna do a BRO together. I don't know if that's out there.
When is this so I can
USC.
rearrange my life?
The
It'll be
USC
the night that Dr. Rosen is listening to BROR against USC. Where here will be one of your calls on USC
Okay.
or after the USC game. The Olds in Memorial Stadium did not follow through, and they did not wear black as well. That will be one of the calls. Just prepare yourself, prepare your answer. I've given you about 10 days to prepare.
Okay.
Iowa JD says at the age of 45, he's never watched Fletch, but you know what? That doesn't surprise me. I mean, when you grow up Amish and you don't have power, you're not able to watch movies. Maybe you ought to watch it later in life.
What is this a movie? This is a movie, not a show, right?
Fletch.
1985.
It's a good date
Chevy
movie.
Chase.
Bring a lady over to the old dorm room and pop that one in.
John
Just don't go all Cosby.
By the way,
John Cocktoaston.
I don't want to.
Is that the whole fist doc?
Let's stop with the dorm room. All right, I don't live in a dorm room. I
It's
live
a
in
nice
very
dorm.
apartment.
It's
Also, too, Carl wasn't very happy that I thought that Jarvis Redwine was a punter, and
Yeah, don't even. You're
Man.
not. I didn't know. Timeout.
Jarvis definitely
Time out.
was not a
Time
punter.
out. First off, I just did myself.
neither was Amon Green.
I did not think
Discuss.
Jarvis Redwine was a punter. I thought that the jersey we had up was a punter's jersey. I didn't know whose jersey it was. I just thought it was a punter's jersey. I did not think Jarvis Redwine was a punter. I want to get that out there.
That's
'cause I
true.
will
You
get
see
killed for
jersey,
that.
but
I
like
didn't think that.
punter.
Especially
But-
a Nebraska jersey that has 12.
Got to be a
But-
punter.
Yeah,
But
like,
that's what I was told.
Did Turner also punt?
You can
That's
do it
an
all.
Amazing
That's
thing.
what I was
Great athlete.
told. I was told that it was a punter at some point. Okay. But Carl was offended. He was like, "You think I would give you a punter's jersey?"
Carl knows ball.
Yeah.
He knows running back. He knows eye backs. Marvelous Jarvis Redwine.
I found out that he showed up to our apartment. He saw the scoring explosion poster, and he went wild. He was like, "Oh my god, where'd you get that?" That was the coolest thing ever. Carl
'Cause
was
it is.
83.
Who didn't like 83?
It was
a great year.
Yeah. Irving Fryers certainly liked 83. I'm sure he made a profit off that year. He did. He actually got drafted.
Number one overall.
Yes, he did. Okay. You got the Google machine over there?
I do.
Bring up David Braun's Wikipedia.
Okay.
David Braun, the head coach of a Northwestern. Remember, the winner of the Northwestern-Nebraska game. There is no trophy, I believe, because this is a trophy weekend in the Big Ten. They're playing for the pig. Floyd of Rosedale between Iowa and Minnesota. There is no trophy between Nebraska and Northwestern,
Gotta
correct?
fix that.
No,
Okay. But
I have his.
the trophy is you become bowl eligible. Okay. Tell me what David Braun's overall record is at Northwestern.
Okay, wait. I would have to pull
On Wikipedia. You can scroll down. He doesn't have
16 and 15.
add one from
17 and 15.
Okay. What's his record in the Big Ten?
9 and 12.
Okay, add one.
10 and 12.
Okay, because they have not included the Purdue game.
No, they haven't.
What is his record in bowl games?
1 and 0.
Okay, so this is David Braun in year number 3.
Yes.
Picking up the pieces from Pat Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Okay, bring up Matt Rule's Wikipedia page.
Actually comes up automatically here. Matt Rule, Wikipedia.
His
scroll
record.
down.
His record at Nebraska is.
His record at Nebraska is 17 and 15. And his Big Ten record is 8 and 14.
Also 1-0 in bowl games.
Yes.
1-0 against David Braun.
Yes.
I think we live in a world where David Braun and Matt Rule have the same exact record.
We do live in a well. We would.
I believe that Rule is 9 and 13 in conference games.
It says 8 and 14 here. But
Can't always trust Wikipedia.
no, can't always trust Wikipedia. I guess we do live in a.
You mean Aaron
I
Rodgers
didn't-
doesn't
I
own the
didn't
Bears?
See, I didn't think of it that way because I've just looked at their 10 years completely differently. Like that Northwestern team in 2023, they were saying the entire time they were going to be really good. And like, even though that they weren't, they were not. I mean, their over under was like 3.5 that year. But Fitz was very adamant that they were going to be good. And I guess, I mean, they ended up being 8 and 5 that year. I thought David Braun was done after the Tulane game. I thought it was over. I cannot believe, like, I'm still kind of shocked that they are 5 and 2 and shocked that there is even a thought in the mind that like, oh, he's going to come back next year and that he's going to be the coach for like a long period of time, which I guess is good for Northwestern. If you don't want to fire a coach during this cycle with all the jobs that are available, but I don't know. It just, this is interesting to me because I've just never thought of them being, it doesn't look good for Matt Rule. It doesn't.
What do you think Dion's record is in 3 years at Colorado?
Probably the same, probably 17 and 15.
16 and 16.
Yeah.
So he's off a game from Braun and Rule. I just find that very interesting that Braun and Rule have the same record through 32 games. Now, they've only faced each other once, and Nebraska beat Northwestern in 2023. But the winner of the game on Saturday becomes bowl eligible.
That is crazy. I still am caught up in the fact that Northwestern beat Penn State, and then they actually parlayed
Many teams have
that victory into Purdue, and that they're going. This is a bad team. And by the way, I've told you multiple times that Northwestern's success historically over the last 10 years has to do with, do they have a good quarterback? Has the quarterback been able to be competent? And for the most part, Preston Stone has not really been that competent. I mean, he's thrown 6 interceptions and 0 touchdowns this year. And even against Purdue, he was 11 of 23. And you would have thought that based on the highlights, he was like 20 of 22 because they were showing every completion. But they've just been able to ground and pound that ball.
I think it's an advantage for Nebraska. You know, last year when they got kicked by Indiana, they turned around and they played a helmet. So the helmet got you up. And Ohio State didn't even care about Nebraska last year. All right. They were not prepared to play Nebraska. They were thinking about the following week. And Nebraska almost tricked it off. I mean, almost embarrassed Ryan Day because Ohio State disrespected Nebraska last year. And Nebraska almost was able to walk in there and steal a game. So the response was that after you got kicked. So you get beaten the style that you did on Friday night. And you're like, oh, man, it'd almost be better if they were playing USC because it's a helmet. No, I actually think it's an advantage to play a team that kind of plays a similar style to Minnesota that is going to line up and run the ball at you. But even more so, they are disciplined and they play good defense. So if that doesn't catch your attention of, do not look at the helmet and go past history and get burned again. Yeah. I think it's, and the fact that they have won 4 in a row, like if Northwestern came in and they were stumbling a little bit, you would get people, some would say, I think it's an ideal opponent after you got beat by Minnesota to play a team that kind of is like Minnesota.
Yeah.
Um,
That's an interesting take.
because you also have to be reminded, and I would drive to Lincoln and remind people. Purdue scored at least 20 on Notre Dame, right?
Yes. They scored 30 against Notre Dame.
Didn't they score more than 20 against Illinois?
Yes, they did.
Didn't they score 20 or more against Minnesota?
They did that. They scored 20 exactly against
How many did they
Minnesota.
score against Northwestern?
They scored 0.
All right. If you are not in the mindset to play football and think that Northwestern is legit, then maybe turn in the jersey and get yourself in the portal right away. So I think I actually think in this case, it's a good opponent for Nebraska to play to get attention, but then it might just turn into Saturday's all about Nebraska and whatever they do, and they just happen to be playing a team that is there.
Look, after what we've heard about the whole Minnesota thing and the just startling facts of people were overlooking them in that locker room, I think it's actually a very good thing that Northwestern beat Purdue. Because you have a 5-2 team walking into Memorial Stadium. Like, you can't convince yourself at all that they're a bad team or they're the Northwestern of the past or anything like that. Like, you are, with that record, you are, and the teams that they beat, you are forced to respect them. I think it's very. Do you think that it's good that they're playing a team like Northwestern because it's like they are now so locked in on the fact that, okay, this is what can beat us, and we have to do a better job to make sure.
I don't know. I think this team is there's some immaturity on this team. I mean, I don't know. I think this team is week to week. Okay, they're a very immature team. Okay, and they have some flaws, but I think they're week to week. I just think if you're looking for attention of like, okay, you want to get beat again, this team's a pretty good football team. And maybe the coach, you go, hey, I'm 17-15. Their head coach is 17-15, and kids look around and go, 6-7? What? Also, and they run the ball. What does Northwestern run the ball about 40 times a game? They're about 190 on the ground. I just think it's an ideal opponent to play when you get kicked like that. And also a reminder what college football has become, that there are no off weeks. Okay. The bottom is getting better. You shouldn't dabble, but be cognizant of, hey, Northwestern is not old Northwestern. And Northwestern, for the most part, outside of 56-7, they have played Nebraska very well, or they have beaten them. So I just look at it as the style that they play is the ideal opponent coming off a team that beat you with that style, and everybody all week is questioning your physicality and your mentality.
I think it's an interesting take, and I think that when you explain it that way, with the fact that they're just going to be so locked in to make sure they don't get beat again like that maybe that's an advantage, that you don't have to switch off from a different style of play to a different style of play. I don't disagree with you that they are maybe an immature team because they are incredibly young. It is a little disappointing though that they are that way, and this is what happened, and what Minnesota. The result of Minnesota was a result of them being immature, and it's disappointing regardless of how old they are, is because they've been with Matt.
Yeah, I don't think if you're a mature team, I don't think you have a quote unquote players only meeting and you're 5-2. You have a players only meeting when you're 3-4 or 4-3, not when you're 5-2. A players only meeting. You don't need a players only meeting. You just need a reminder: we're still a good football team. If you're a strong, mentally veteran team. But if you're an immature team, you got to have a players meeting. They're 5-2. How many teams out there are having
none?
And here's the thing: we don't know how players only meeting. Like, was it just a discussion in the locker room, or was it, guys, let's get together? I mean, when you hear players only meeting, you go, oh my God. But 5-2 teams shouldn't be having players only meetings. They can have discussions, and they can have leaders that say that's unacceptable. But Dylan to say we had a meeting where every truth was told. Well, what the hell's going on there? I mean, are we on my high wire?
But
it kind of feels like it.
But when do you cross the threshold? Is then my next question. When do you cross the threshold from being a young, immature team to then being a mature team? Like, when is that going to happen? Because they've played a lot of games and they've won games.
You have momentum. You win games like Friday night. You win styles like Friday night. They didn't win Friday night. So we have questions, and Nebraska hopes they have answers. Again, I think it's a 5-game vibe check. The race to the end of the season to say, okay, things are fine.
Sure.
Things are fine. Guys are getting better. Guys are making improvements. Guys aren't the same that they were at Arrowhead. They're much different. But I personally think in this journey, you would like to say thank you, Minnesota, at some point this year. Say thank you for Minnesota to doing that to us. Thank you. Thank you, because if we would have tricked another one off, we would have gotten burnt somewhere else.
Sure.
But so thank you, Minnesota, for hitting us in week number 7 when we still have 5 more weeks to play to fix this and to validate what we think internally that we're a good football team.
Look, they did it once before with UCLA, which is part of the reason why I'm encouraged that I think they're going to win on Saturday, because UCLA did that and gave them the massive wake-up call. And it took them a while, but they eventually did change things and respond to the way they needed to respond. I just think that I get where you're coming from. At the same time, though, like, you better be ready for when those guys come in the A gap and when they're running the ball hard, and they like, you better.
Yeah, well,
like,
I think those are some things that they can't fix. I think they're very poor on contain. I think some of those things they just have to find a way to cloud over or to work away from their weaknesses and play into their strengths. I just think that's where we're at halfway through the season. And those are the things that have been there all season long that haven't been corrected. So you can't have them beat you every week. So that's where it comes back to the headsets over the helmets.
That's the most disappointing part.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. Coming up top of the hour, Jay Moore will stop by. Again, his perspective is pretty good. There's the analyst, there's the player when you have something happen like Friday night. So Jay will stop by at 8. John Walker at 9. Basketball season is now 12 days away. We play the high-low game now that preseason polls are out for the Big East and the Big Ten.
High-low of like.
Yeah, we'll play high-low.
Okay.
And then Brandon Vogel will stop by as well on a Wednesday edition of Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone. Hey, this week's Zone Deal is for Woodcliff Restaurant. Voted Omaha's best outdoor patio. It's perfect for a romantic dinner for two or a family dinner. They've been a longtime partner of 1620 The Zone. You can enjoy all the delicious food and a perfect view of Woodcliff Lake. You may live on Woodcliff Lake. This week's special on Friday, they have the special burger. And then Friday is fish special to get you ready for Lent.
Hell yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Way ahead of
You
Lent.
don't like fish?
I love fish.
Oh, okay.
Fish fries.
I think it's caught right out of Woodcliff Lake.
I haven't been fishing in Woodcliff Lake. I go up to Minnesota.
Two $25 gift vouchers, a $50 value, just $25. Listen to the afternoon show, and you can win vouchers and get all the details at 1620thezone.com. John says into the Equitable Bank inbox, like Matt with Northwestern, I'm shocked that I am the only one that is ready to move on from Rule as soon as it is affordable.
Wow.
Yogurt can not extend him for 7 wins, even if he gets to that.
Is that what he calls Dannon yogurt?
I believe that the midday show.
Yes,
started,
that's right. The
calling
yogurt
Dannon
man, yeah.
yogurt,
They do the
and it is caught on.
the Dannon. I think the drop is probably on there. I don't know. It's incredible to me that we went from 5-1, Penn State, please don't take them. Everybody freaking out on the message boards to literally a terrible game later, being like, I'm surprised, I'm shocked he's not gone already.
To be
Penn
fair,
State
he might
can
be a
have
Spaceballs fan if he's talking about yogurt.
Listen to him last night on his monthly show.
Yeah.
He did a good job of not boxing himself in, like being prepared because Matt Rule is still atop the Penn State hot boards.
Yeah.
We're now the hot board 5.0 on 24/7. The job's only been open like 10 days. Damn.
Wow.
I miss those times. I hope we don't have to do those times again, but just listening to Dannon, he doesn't give you, he plays it very well of, you know what, we want to keep our head coach and we will make it worthwhile because we want to make people that want to stay because they like this job better than a job that might be courting them. But if we have to find somebody, we're going to be well prepared because of the job that we have.
Yeah.
So he's kind of playing it 50-50. I also wonder about a conversation if the vibe on Rule to Penn State or Rule staying here internally, if it's different from externally.
Oh God. I mean, I think internally they've just, at least within the football department, I don't think they've really paid that much attention to it other than, hey, we got to go ahead and we have to beat the teams that we have to beat and play the teams that we have to play, which, by the way, I prefer them to do that. I don't want them to be talking about it or thinking about it. I mean,
I think I got the impression Dannon knows that the Penn State Rule thing is real and that there is the possibility. Just the way that he approached questions last night, and I might be reading way too much between the lines, but Dannon's a smart guy. Okay. He knows what the landscape is. He knows how quickly this can happen. He's done it before.
Yeah.
Okay. He's probably been on both ends of it. So he's playing smart, but he also said something last night. And I think I said this right away. The Nebraska job will be better 2 months from now, regardless of who the head coach is, because the head coach is going to get the investment financially in the program that he desires, or the caretakers will go, okay, we got to fix the hole for the next guy to come in here so that we don't have this situation again. So 2 months from now, regardless of the head coaches, I think the job will be better. But he also kind of, just the way he explained it in very athletic director terms, there is a movement to get a financial commitment to the program, but now it's all about timing. It's a terrible scenario to say that on Monday from the head man and then to have Friday happen. And then you're trying to work to make sure you get those things taken care of so that you make it enticing to Rule to go, okay, all right, I'm battling here going home or staying here. I appreciate the investment in the program. But if that's true, when do you announce something like that? Does that coincide with Matt Rule is staying and we have an investment in the football program?
I think that's,
I don't know. It's just go listen to him last night because he did a really good job of being athletic director speak of a guy that wants to keep his coach but knows that he might lose his coach.
I like it when
I hope is prepared.
I like it when you can tell that I read the quotes and didn't actually fully watch the video of him on the radio. He had an interesting quote though with he kind of dropped everything. We have this and we have that. We have the nutrition, we have the staff, we have the facilities. But yeah, and I like that there's transparency of admitting, hey, we're not the best when it comes to financial investment in the football program. But at the same time, even if Rule leaves, it should not be hard getting somebody to take the Nebraska football job. It should not be difficult. It shouldn't be something that you freak out about. I mean, they are in the Big Ten. They're in the conference that you want to be in. They have the tradition. They have the fan base. They have the want to win.
I will tell you, after Friday,
everything.
no one is freaked out about Matt Rule to Penn State.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about
Penn State fans
how things have changed in 10 days.
No, I know, but I'm more so talking about the people who are pressing the panic button on the, oh my God, what are we going to do if another head coach leaves us? Or what if this Matt Rule thing doesn't work out? Like, I don't think you have to push it there because Nebraska and Troy Dan in the athletic department have very quietly put themselves in a very, very good situation in terms of the things or the resources that they have and the investments that they're willing to make. And to your point, the investments could get better.
I mean, he's open to the possibility is real. And he didn't come out and say, well, you know what? Pat and Matt have talked, but he was very, I've had a lot of transparency and some openness this week by people that speak in front of microphones in Lincoln, that you just leave open the possibility that, oh, no, I'm not head in sand. I'm sure that he's got his list, and I would really love to see, because Bill Byrne used to tell the story, and every athletic director, I think, goes to athletic director school, and they use the same line. Well, what if our head coach got hit by a bus?
Sure.
How many head coaches in the history of coaching have been hit by a bus?
And what's with these bus drivers?
Petrino kind of did it to himself, but other than that, I can't really tell.
Did he get hit by a bus?
No, but he fell off a motorcycle. I mean, that's still a vehicular accident.
Well, I mean, when you have the side piece in the sidecar, you deserve to be in an accident. Okay, all right. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
I don't think being in an affair
Sorry, guys.
means that, we have a studio audience here.
We have youngsters from Creighton Prep that are in studio.
I'm still teaching.
They're learning about Bobby Petrino.
They're gonna
side pieces.
You guys know Bobby Petrino? The neck brace. Yeah.
Look at that. Ball knower.
Google why he's wearing the neck brace and why he lost his job. But then also Google how great the SEC is, that guy could do that in Fayetteville and he's back coaching Arkansas.
You have really good experience of telling young people who weren't alive for certain things could go back and look for certain things.
Google is your friend.
It is my friend.
Google is your friend and ChatGPT.
Yeah, just type in google.com though.
Especially when you're doing the lottery for numbers or gambling on sports.
There you go, Gary.
But the era is perfect right now, whether you're Nebraska or Indiana or Vanderbilt, to have success, that you're not going to always stay at the bottom unless you have a bad coach.
Oh, yeah.
You're always one coach away. I just thought it was kind of refreshing not to slam the door and say, you got, but to say, yeah, I'm open. This could happen. But this is how we're looking at it. And this is my philosophy. But Bill Byrne used to always say this. And one of the things, and people know this well by now, Bill is one of my favorite people of all time in athletics. And he was really kind of ahead of his time in what he wanted to do in Lincoln, but he was trying to pick up for the old Devaney. And he ran into some roadblocks, and then he convinced people that you got to move the athletic program into the next century. Is one of his biggest things that he wasn't able to do is hire a football coach. He makes no bones about it. He's told the story numerous times. Mac Brown was going to be his guy to replace T.O. The Mac Brown in 98. Okay, that was his guy. He was at number one at his top of his list. You know who number two was?
Who?
Bob Stoops.
Wow.
So Mac Brown and Bob Stoops were the two top guys on Bill Byrne's list. And so Byrne would always tell the story of, every athletic director, because what happens if you wake up and you have a phone call that your coach got hit by a bus? Please find me how many coaches have been hit by a bus. It'd be very unfortunate.
And not Jerome Bettis.
It'd be very, very unfortunate if you got hit by a bus, okay? And you weren't able to coach.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take.
All right. I mean, what would you rather have? Your coach be involved in a scandal, lose his job, or get hit by a bus and lose his job?
Probably scandal.
But every athletic director goes to athletic director school and they say, well, if the coach get hit by a bus, I got to be able to hire a coach the next day. And they always use the same line. In my top drawer, I have a piece of paper that has these names on it.
Next to some highlighters.
So Byrne was pretty honest, and he said Mac Brown and then Bob Stoops were second on his list. But T.O. didn't give him that opportunity.
No.
And that I think that's one of the things he really wanted to hire a football coach at Nebraska. I mean, he made some really good hires in Terry Pettit to John Cook, hiring Dave Van Horn, of course. I would like to, looking at Dannon's past history of football coaches,
Sure.
from Willie Fritz to Jed Fish.
Love me some Willie Fritz.
I'd be curious on when he opens his top drawer, and because they all look at it periodically of like, okay, do I have to update this list?
Yeah.
Because what if Rule is walking across the street and he got hit by a bus? You got to have a coach. Okay, you got to have a coach.
Here we go, talking about imaginary lists again. America's favorite pastime is talking about lists that may or may not exist.
You always have to be prepared.
Yeah, we got to get the DOJ on it.
What happened to the streetcar runs over a coach in Omaha?
Dannon's list exists.
When the athletic directors get fired at Nebraska, do they take the list with them, or do they leave the list in the desk and we can go, ooh, this is who Moose this is who Moose really wanted. Justin Fuente? What the?
My God, is that Barry Odom's name down there? Jeff Brom, he'll never leave Purdue. I mean, do we want to do the thought experiment of what? Okay.
Oh, you can. I mean, you can. You can.
I mean, I think Kenny Dillingham should be number one on everybody's single list, but I don't think he'll ever leave Tempe, Arizona.
Everybody has their price.
And then maybe
Kenny Dillingham 34.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeez, tiny baby boy.
He made a college football playoff. We're not allowed to call him tiny baby boy when you have.
You can still be tiny baby boy. It's not an insult.
Absolutely not. I think it is an insult when you call somebody tiny baby.
Somebody calls you old, that would be more of an insult.
You know what Kenny Dillingham has going for him at Arizona State?
What does Kenny Dillingham have going for him?
He does well on Saturdays. And then whenever he speaks at the press conference of his weekly press conference, he wins again.
Yep.
He's got such a great perspective on the game and how to build and how to grow. When he speaks, like, not, hey, Coach, tell me about your left guard situation. Okay, everybody says the same thing. But then when he goes like big picture, you're like, man, that guy, Arizona State, they got a gem in getting him.
Yeah.
And then you find a way to keep him. But he also is somebody that I don't think is a job skipper.
No, well,
I mean he's young. He might be NFL. Try the NFL and then come back to college.
I would only leave for the right job.
You're 34.
I love watching him beg for an indoor practice facility. He does it better than anybody else.
It's warm there.
I'm being honest here. I mean, he really is. He's really trying to make that place as good as it possibly can. And I respect that too, because like you say, like there are guys who are clearly there just to be there for a cup of coffee and then go to the next big thing and make more money. It doesn't seem like he's that guy, but he would be number one on my list. And then probably your guy, Jimmy Chavez.
Me? What'd I do?
Leipold.
Oh, yes. He's not 34.
Who needs that win in the Sunflower Showdown this weekend more, Chris Kleiman or Lance Leipold?
Lance.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think that the heightened expectations could begin the year for Kansas State?
No, they need to end that streak.
It's 16
I
in a
was
row,
your
correct?
age, pretty much. Yeah.
Is that 16
November
in a row?
1st, 2008.
Damn.
Jeez.
My life has changed a little bit since then.
Brandon.
Shout out my hair.
Brandon texts into the show.
Good hair.
Brandon has familiarity with the Frank Solich, Tom Osborne era. He said, Bill Byrne is in part to blame for the state of the program today. Failed to invest. Yeah. He, I think Bill Byrne let Nebraska football and the success in the 90s kind of think it was a turnkey and you could just let it go. And then he pivoted to working on the Olympic sports because the Sears Cup was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And football in terms of support financially and oversight slipped a little bit.
Yeah. They didn't double
from
down.
the TO to Solich. I just thought, okay, the program can run on its own. Even though it's a Fortune 500 company, it cannot.
Yeah.
So I will agree with Brandon on that.
I mean, I'm going to take your word for it, but I also do think too we're just so removed from that era where there have just been so many other people who have had hands into.
Well, no, I think there's lessons to be learned. I think you can't. I mean, look at Bill Moose. So Moose did exactly what everybody wanted him to do, right?
Yes.
He went out and hired Scott Frost, and then he hired Fred Hoiberg. And then he just like, oh, okay. Let's, I got my, hey, all right. Hey, you guys do well. I'll give you some money.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
That's a great, is that your Moose
Will,
impression?
Will, you guys had a good season. You want some more money? Well, I'd actually like some stuff I like some facilities in the ballpark. We'll just give you some more money. Hey, you want some more money? We'll work it up and we'll get it over to you. Okay.
I like your Moose impression is just a series of haze.
But it also, there was, everybody has an ego in football, okay,
Yes.
especially head coaches.
100%.
And sometimes they want help. Sometimes they're like, I can do it on my own. Like Moose just hired Frost and then just let him go. There was really no oversight. And I don't know if Moose would have been the guy to have oversight because I think Frost walked all over Moose.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like I can get a sense that Dannon has a good relationship with Rule, but it's Rule's program. And Rule is
1,000,000%.
the cock of the block in Lincoln, okay? He runs the show and he's the man. And he has a lot more power than he did under Trev because I think Trev wanted some power.
Sure.
They wanted to share.
Yeah.
And Rule has ideas. And I think Trev was like, I have ideas. I think Rule has those ideas. And Dannon's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But I think an athletic director just hiring a football coach and just letting them go is bad job by AD. They still need some oversight. They don't need a heavy hand. They need some oversight. So with Bill, lost kind of the oversight because we started paying attention to other things. I think Moose just said, I got my sights on other things.
Well, I think that what you're talking about,
GBR, go get them.
I think what you're talking about is kind of what we talk about with owners and GMs and coaches in the NFL, right? Like there's the balance. There's the balance of taking care and being the CEO and making sure that the day-to-day is going, but also not getting too involved. Like let the football people do the football things, but also making sure, hey, we are all collective together trying to accomplish the same thing. And I think that Dannon so far hasn't really done anything to make you think that he doesn't have that balance somewhat intact, right? And I think we've talked about this profusely. Like, man, I don't know if I want to be athletic director in college sports right now. Like that's got to be one of the toughest jobs just in the country, period. Just what you have to deal with and the adaptation to everything like that. You can't, your biggest accomplishment can't be the hiring of the guy. Your biggest accomplishment has to be what did that guy accomplish?
Yep.
And that's the problem with Moose.
Right. But it'll come out in his book and I'll have 2 chapters on his time in Nebraska.
Are they still writing that thing?
Oh yeah.
We gotta text Steve.
The NDA has expired. So the NDA that he signed with Nebraska apparently has expired.
Okay. So more chapters are being added, baby?
He added another chapter.
Wow. Jeez.
That's remember it's now not going to be published until December.
Are you gonna buy that LeBron James book?
No. Bill Moose to LeBron James.
No, I'm just saying.
Is Sip writing them both?
Same sentence.
No, all this Russell Westbrook stuff is coming from this book. Apparently, this guy, this LA reporter, is like he's writing this book about all the drama that's gone on with LeBron in LA.
Guy that eats pizza with a fork. He's out.
He doesn't.
Michael is my goat. He eats pizza with a fork.
I would say probably losing to the Dallas Mavericks in 2011 has made LeBron James not the GOAT, not him eating pizza with a fork, which, by the way, isn't a terrible thing.
My GOAT eats deep dish with his hands.
He also, no, I don't think he's eaten deep dish ever.
The presumed GOAT right now pulls out a fork to eat something that looks like it came from California pizza, and it has like leaves on top of it.
Yeah, but he does Taco Tuesday. He was cool with the kids, 6'7".
Jordan did much more.
Yeah, I know.
Jordan has a documentary.
The kids back here just shook their head.
I know.
Jordan or LeBron, GOAT?
I'm going to say Jordan.
Oh, I love Creighton Prep. Jay Moore is going to join us after the top of the hour in 1620 The Zone. All right, Jay Moore is going to join us here in a little bit. Jay's got thoughts. If you saw him on Big Red wrap-up last night with Michael and Damon and Avery. Jay is trying to balance the player and the analyst and looking what happened against Minnesota. So we'll get into that in here in just a little bit. The NBA is back. It is day number 2 of the NBA. Oklahoma City can go 82-0. Golden State can go 82-0 after their performances last night. But in a sport where their TV deal has generated $76 billion.
My God.
Like their new TV deal. Adam Silver is doing well. Why in that sport do people find the need to explain why they're not watching the NBA? There are no other sports where you explain why you're not watching the NBA.
They want you to know.
Well,
they want you to know that I'm not watching the NBA. You know what? It's okay to dabble a little bit. Oklahoma City, Houston, double OT last night was kind of fun. SGA was kind of fun. Singing, kind of fun, except for the flopping. All right. Steph Curry, kind of fun.
It was kind of fun.
Okay.
It was. I think people, first off, like
Luka, kind of fun.
There are the political.
I don't watch the NBA.
There's 2 reasons. There's the political guys who have the sunglasses, who take the selfies on their Twitter profile, who want you to know everything about what they're doing in life. And so those are the ones who are telling you because of the NBA and their dealings overseas that they're not watching the NBA. And then there also is like the nostalgia factor of like, this isn't what it used to be in the 90s.
That's why
it was way better back then. I'm not going to watch it now.
On NBC is going to be so popular because they have gone into the nostalgia.
People like the
Doing
NBA better.
Lineups and round ball rock.
People liked the NBA better when you couldn't do a zone defense. The zone defense has killed the NBA. Gary, haven't you heard about that?
You guys know round ball rock?
Do.
Basketball.
Do.
Okay, we're gonna play it for. We have
that's
Trade and Prep journalism students in studio for the next hour. We're gonna play round ball rock. You guys have not heard.
Come on,
Matt.
That's disappointing. See, you get disappointed. Dude, this is incredible.
Got to be better. These kids don't know round ball rock. Oh my gosh.
This is awesome because typically you're the older guy who gets mad at the younger guy for not knowing.
Matt is actually
now
it's incredible. He's had an incredible
6 years
career. Like, all right. Coming next, Jay Moore will join us. We got John Walker to talk a little basketball. Big East Media Day yesterday. Big 12 Men's Media Day down at KC today.
Yeah, the football conference.
JV football conference.
It's not a
JV. Wheel sport is on today.
Great.
Also, Brandon Hilbert will join us halftime of the week this year. We'll be back with more after this.
Talk to the guys on the 1620 The Zone by calling the Prairie Flower Casino hotline. Each week, we will be giving out a $100 gift card to Sky Bar and Grill at Prairie Flower Casino. You can enter and win now at 1620 The Zone.
All right, we welcome in our good friend who is his mother and father-in-law. Tom and Mimi love me like they do Jay. Jay Moore joins us now. Yeah, so, 2 weeks ago, I met Mimi for the first time, and I've known Tom for a while. I had a long discussion out at Elkhorn the other night with Tom. They're good people.
Was it a good discussion? It was about me? Who was it about? What did you guys talk about?
Oh, we were talking about boundaries and enrollment in Elkhorn.
Oh, sure.
He has a little bit of history there.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, great job last night on Big Red wrap-up. I know those shows are not very easy, but I thought you three handled it very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the player perspective. So before we go forward, let's go back. Give me your response to what you saw Friday night from I'm a former player, but I also analyzed the game. Can you balance those or separate responses?
100%. I think, Damon's been a part of games where you didn't perform well, and I've been part of more of them just because the teams at Nebraska, I wasn't as successful, obviously, as DB was, but I mean, he was part of the 96 game down in Tempe, the 92 game, Iowa State. I think he was on that team. I don't know if he played redshirted, but anywho, games where they kind of slept walk, Wyoming, you mentioned Washington State. And I've been a part of games where we should have won too. I think of 04 at Iowa State, easily should have won that football game. The Iowa State was not a great team by any means, but that was slightly different. That was Coach Callahan's first year as head coach. But like I said on the show last night, I'll never really question the effort played in the game. I think the guys played hard, but I am about 99.9% certain they didn't prepare the right way. And that's why you saw that product that we got on Friday night. I think that it was a culmination of multiple things. I think you get a short week where you have to travel. You come off a good road win in a fashion that you did against Maryland. And I don't think they fully respected their opponent. And when that happens, I think I'll steal DB's term, just the emotional maturity. This team's still pretty young. And there's still a handful of coaches on the staff who haven't coached a lot in the Big Ten. And when you look at teams like Minnesota, Northwestern, and we've learned this the hard way, you see them play other teams, you watch them on film, they're like, man, how can we not beat these teams? Once you get into them, man, they kind of back you into a corner and force you to play their way. And if you're not ready, you can easily get lulled to sleep and get punched in the mouth. Also, you're like, holy smokes, I wasn't prepared for that. Nebraska wasn't prepared. That's as way I can put it. When you have as many miscommunications on the offensive line, I thought the game plan was not great on both sides of the ball. You want to call it vanilla. I think Emmett Johnson deserved way more carries. And I just don't think they prepared their guys the right way to handle this football game. I thought they could come out here. Maybe they thought they could dictate just because of what they seen from Minnesota and do what they wanted to do. But just from a physicality perspective, they were not there. They did not prepare the right way. They did not get after it. And I wasn't at practice, but by the results I saw on Friday night, I can almost guarantee you they probably took it a little lighter in practice, try to take care of the guys' bodies, do the necessary things that one would think that you could do after a win, after you're traveling and you got a short week. But when you have a young team like this and they're not quite there, man, you can't let your foot off the gas, and you can't give them an ounce of, I call it like an exhale. You can't allow a team to have the success and go, huh, like almost like we have arrived. And I feel like there was a sense of that going on this last week, and they underestimated Minnesota, and it bit them in the rear end. And I guarantee you they're going to prepare the right way for Northwestern this week, because if they don't, then I tell you what, this back half of the season could get a little dicey. But I know just the tone of the press conference we saw the last 2 days, I think things are going to get fixed rather quickly, and they're going to prepare much more appropriately.
You guys did a great job yesterday talking about that, the emotional maturity and maybe not taking Minnesota too serious enough, rather. Do you think that this game, them getting punched in the mouth and not responding is kind of the thing that they need to cross that threshold into becoming a mature team to having that experience?
Yeah, I hope it does. I 100% hope it does. Well, it's either one way. It's either you get better from it or you get worse from it. And that's just you can say that about anything really in life. Either getting better or you're getting worse. And I hope that that performance makes them a much better team, and not from, I guess it's everything, but mentally, physically, emotionally, X and O's wise, they got to be better. And you can't sleepwalk, you can't tiptoe, you can't half step into anything once you get into conference play. And I don't care what the opponent showed in the past. You got to approach every single week the exact same way, no matter if you're preparing for Iowa, USC, Michigan State, doesn't matter. You got to approach each game, each week the exact same way, because otherwise, this is what happens. When you don't respect your opponent and you think you can go out there with not an effort that, or just a game plan that you thought you just roll your helmet out there and perform and take care of business, that's not handling it the mature way. And I've said it here before. I don't care about the energy that they show on the field before the game. I know that got talked about. I'm a big proponent of, we call it FE, false enthusiasm. That can happen a lot before games. If you prepare the right way Monday through Friday, I don't care how you come out before the game, you're going to handle your business. If you did the necessary things Monday through Friday, you can come out all hyped up. You can come out flat as hell in the warm-ups. But I know one thing: you're gonna have a good product because you did the necessary things during the week. But yeah, this is one scenario. This game on Saturday morning is gonna be very telling about the nature of and the mentality of this team, the staff going forward for the rest of the season. They come out flat and show a lot of the same issues, then you got to call a spade, and you got to figure out, well, you're going to see the same type of product potentially for the rest of the season. Or if it's fixed, they're calling better game plans, putting guys in better situation, utilizing the athletes that they have, putting guys in better situations defensively to win their one-on-one battles and to make sure the back end is not putting into tough situations to make run to stop the run in certain situations. Then good. That's what I expect to see. But yeah, I fully expect them to get better from that performance on Friday. I truly do.
So let's and the disrespect of Minnesota is alarming at this point, and there's rat poison and the things that have been mentioned. But I know offense is a discussion about the offensive line and Dylan and everything that's involved in running the ball. And it's still crazy to me that Emmett, only 2 of his carries Friday night were after first down. But I want to focus on defense because you guys discussed this, and I'm trying to bring it up all week. And John Butler talked yesterday. John Butler's kind of turned into, I'm going to say, Jay, an internal punching bag because it's hey, why are you twisting too much? Why are you running this? And that's not working. You got to go back to being vanilla. Mm-hmm. But he talked yesterday. He acknowledged that he was not as aggressive after the Taylor 71-yard run. Mm-hmm. I think he told me something that I'm uncomfortable with, that his faith in guys being able to make the simple plays or do things that he could like scheme up went out the window when he saw another long run bust like that. What was your read on his response to that question when he uses the word, you're too vanilla or you're too aggressive, where he's at 7 games into his season as a defensive coordinator?
He's in a tough spot because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I've been on this show and others, and I'm a fan of being more vanilla, more basic, more traditional. I feel like that's what you fall back on. But and again, maybe some of the defenses I were on were more talented, and you can do that. It's hard, man, because you do certain things. Like I said, I hated all the twists and just running guys out of gaps, and just makes it really, really difficult. here's a hard part is when that play that the long one, the 70-yarder that they had just in the first half. I mean, that's just basic. What I broke it down last night is Elijah Judy was in the A gap to the boundary.
Okay.
So then they had a C gap player. I think you had Watson Trent in the B gap. I think Merritt was behind an opposite A gap to the field side. I don't remember if they had a 3 technique. I can't remember exactly who was towards. I can't remember if it was a 3-man or 4-man front. But essentially, Nebraska was gapped out. So in that situation, when I saw what Judy was thinking, because he saw that he was in a good spot, headbutted the center, was right there, saw the delayed handoff on the zone read to the running back. He goes back door. So now he's in the opposite A gap. So essentially now we have 2 guys in backside A. I just don't, at this point, when you've struggled running the football, and I want guys to play aggressive, and I totally agree, guys to take chances, but that's just a common situation. If he stays front side A gap and doesn't go back door, that play is a 4-yard gain. He goes back door, trips, falls down, creates a huge hole. Now Merritt has struggles getting over top. Watson Trent gets eaten up because he's 1 for 1. And then Buford has to come down and make a play, and that's just hard. That's so I don't care. I know he needs to do better, but I don't care who you are trying to make a play, and you have a back has 10 yards to go either way. Good luck. But to me, it comes up from the guys up front. I will always in defense look at the defensive line. If the defensive line does their job, the back, you want to call them 6, 7 guys, they're going to be fine. But when you have guys that do that, Nebraska's not good enough. The back end, they don't have a Levante David, a Barrett Root, some of the great linebackers we've had here before who can kind of clean up your messes. They're not there yet. Nebraska has to play so disciplined up front that you can't do those type of things. And then you see something like that, and it's hard. And I'm sure the guy told him upstairs in his headset, like, "Hey, Judy went back door. He didn't stay front side A gap." So the lineman was able to get up second level quicker, and our guys weren't able to get over top to make the play. So yeah, but to me, I wouldn't get totally spooked. I would go to Judy and your D line coach, like, "Hey, stay your butt in the front side A gap. What are you doing? Quit taking. We've done this. Do your job." But if you can't trust your guys to do your job, it's like, you either got to get them out because you can't trust them, or get it fixed and have a talking with them and say, "Hey, don't do that anymore." So I get it. I understand he's a punching bag. It's tough. What we kind of thought going into the season is this inconsistencies, right? Games are great, times are not. And that's a product of having young players and guys who haven't played a ton and not preparing in the right way. They got to be on point this week against Northwestern. They're going to run the ball down our throats. I think they ran the ball 50 times against Purdue last week. So, 40 sometimes a week before. You got to get it fixed and you got to be prepared for a 4-quarter shootout here with running the football, because they're gonna make sure if Northwestern's going to test you to see if you got fixed or not. Nebraska better get fixed. And I hope they get it fixed.
Jay, I'm a Chicago sports fan, which means that I've followed and watched a lot of bad teams in my young life, and typically the cherry on top of just the season going terribly is a players only meeting. I can tell you off the top of my head like 6 or 7 players only meetings I've heard from the Bulls and the Cubs and everybody else, and it just doesn't work out. And yesterday, when Dylan Raiola says, "Well, we had every truth possible came out in a players only meeting," I immediately think, you're 5-2. You're not 2-5. You're 5-2. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was interesting. But you being a former player, have you ever been in a players only meeting? And what is like the effectiveness rate of that? And like can it really turn around? Because just in my experience, it just seems like whenever you hear that, it's a lot of empty calories.
Yeah, I have been. Yeah, it can kind of be a lot of wah 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 going on as because it all depends on who's trying to speak up. Players know who has the street cred and who doesn't, and sometimes players will want to speak up and be the voice of reason and be the guy, but it's like, man, you're getting your ass kicked every day on Saturday. What are you talking about? So that's a problem, and I don't know who's talking, and I know Dylan's trying to. He's a leader of this offense as a captain, but he's still young, and I mean he's doing his best, and he can play a lot better, obviously. But he has guys breathing down his neck because the offensive line isn't performing the right way. It's hard when you have these players only meet with a young team. There's some older veteran type guys on this, but also some of these guys haven't been here a ton. You'd think Rocco Spindler could be a good leader. This is his first year here. But you look at guys like Justin Evans. That's a guy I probably want speaking. He's played a ton of football and has been here. But it's hard in the dynamics of college football now with guys just maybe being on campus for 6 to 12 months, and you're trying to trust them. It's hard. But I don't think it's a necessarily a negative thing, but it shouldn't be. Here's what Nebraska can't do is there's no reason to panic. It's like we just got to prepare better. We got to practice a little better. We got to do some of these things just a little better, and we'll be fine. It's not like you got to completely scrap everything and start over and institute a new law. It's like, no, you got to just turn up the dial a little more and prepare the right way, and everything will be fine. But those players, I've been a part of them, and sometimes they're productive, sometimes they're not. More times than not, guys always fall back to their habits, their bad habits, and it doesn't matter if a coach or who it is. It's having that internal. I saw a comment today, or I think Kurt Signetti said it. The biggest enemy out there is human nature, and you got to take pride in how you operate. You got to take pride in what you do, and I tell you what, I do know what works though, and I think they had this on Sundays. They watched the game film as a team. That makes a difference. That makes a huge difference when you're watching how many plays there were in the game, and you have your head coach calling you out in front of all your teammates. That can change people's. You can either go hide, or you can say, "Hey, I don't have some respect about you, and I'm making sure I never get called out again." And that's what I hope what happens. I hope that internal ego pops up and say, "I'm tired of being embarrassed. I'm tired of not doing the right thing on film. I'm gonna get it fixed." And I trust that the culture is good enough at Nebraska that the majority of the guys are going to approach it that way.
Hey, we'll get chatter on this, and Sunday or Saturday morning is going to be a run the ball game. You alluded to what Northwestern likes to do. Nebraska has talked now this week about establishing the run game. I mean, there's a crazy stat. Emmett Johnson leads the Big Ten in rushing, but the team that he plays for is 133rd in the country in terms of sacks allowed, and there's only 136 teams that get on those stats. So 5 yards per carry for Emmett on first down, but only 2 of his 14 carries were after first down.
Yeah.
In terms of establishing the run, is that on the offensive line or is that on the play caller?
Both. I think a few of those plays early in the game against Minnesota, those are RPOs, and there was some miscommunication. I know Dylan kept it on one, and Hunter was trying to run or was blocking.
Yeah.
Don't give him the option.
Play the game, Jay.
Yeah. Don't give him the option, right? If you're going to run the damn ball. I'm all fans of RPOs. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I think you have to have that in part of the offense and have the defense play true and respect it. But yeah, you got to commit. He is really, really good. He is his ability to make people miss, but Holgerson's got to trust it. And this O-line, as much as we pass pro, they are better, I think, at run blocking than obviously protecting Dylan. So I think you got to lean on that and don't give him an option. And this game might be over by 1:00 if this how much the ball is going to be running. And I'm a fan of that. Let's run the football and let's I don't have the stat off the top of my head. I know Northwestern's a damn good defense, and I'm sure they're. You have a good team, a team that likes to run the football. They're on the opposite side. They're usually pretty good at stopping it because they see it all the time in practice. But do it, commit to it. He's one of your best weapons. Go do it, commit to it, get it done, and then you run in some heavy play action off that, and you use some other wrinkles. The other thing is utilize number 2 in the run game somehow. Get him the damn ball. What's happened to him? He's gone milk cart in the last 2 games. Get him the ball in the short intermediate style. That's a form of the run game. Jets, the quick pop pass. We see that all the time. Use him in the run game as well to get on the edges, and I think they'll be okay. But I'm interested to see the wrinkles and just how they approach it after after I know the most of the staff and these players don't have much of a butt left after the butt chewing they got this week, which obviously is much deserved.
Yeah, Shay, great stuff. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy. Hopefully, we'll have an enjoyable Saturday, and we'll talk about it next week ahead of USC.
Okay. So, see you, boys.
That is Jay Moore. In the McSports book,
Yep.
what is the total on possessions that will be had in this game?
Oh, great question. I would put it at, let's do over under 10.5.
Okay.
Over under 10.5. I could very well see both teams, if they're going to run the ball as much as it's advertised, maybe 4 possessions in the first, 6 possessions in the second, and then we'll see if we get a bonus one in the first half of the game. But
because didn't Northwestern had about 15 more minutes of time of possession from Purdue?
Yeah.
And they scored on their first 3 possessions.
Oh yeah, they're gonna milk it. They milk and they milk and they run and they run and they. When we talk about complimentary football, like that's the buzzword, right? Complimentary football, complimentary football. They actually play complimentary football, and there have been things that they've been able to carry over from Fitz to Braun. That's one of them.
All right, when we come back, we'll get some tweets, we'll get some texts, we'll get some emails, we'll get some chat rooms. We'll tell you about the guys that are in studio from Creighton Prep.
See, the youngins would tell you that chat room is not the proper term.
Hey, is chat room real?
No, you don't. Not exactly. Dang. Exactly. You don't say chat room. You just say the YouTube chat. It's the chat.
If you guys only knew what a chat room was.
No, the God. Not.
All right.
Not.
We're back with Gary and Matt and the boys from Prep after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, in the day of nostalgia with the NBA, Allen Iverson is the guest on the New Heights podcast this week.
I saw that. Dang it. I saw that.
How about those two guys interviewing AI?
Who's their booking agent? Do they have one, or is it just them being incredibly popular?
People reaching out to them.
They get so many good guests. I mean,
Yeah.
like whoever if they actually have a PR person that's booking that thing, give them a raise.
I mean,
They're incredible.
It was tough for them to get Taylor Swift.
It wasn't tough for them to get. That's the only one it wasn't tough for them to get.
She was going nowhere else.
They got Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
After coming off of an Oscar-worthy performance. You know how incredible that is? You know how many movie podcasts can't even swing that? And two big dumb football idiots are able to get one of the better actors of a generation on their...
Two idiots.
I mean...
They're pretty smart guys.
Goofs, but they're fun goofs. They're our goofs. They're America's goofs, but they're goofs. They're goofs.
Well, you are not a Chiefs fan, so not everybody agrees with that. But he's my tight end, and he catches balls for my MVP quarterback.
Third and Kelsey, baby. We're back at it. Did you see the curl he ran the other day? Man, he looks skinny.
I just know that the Chiefs are back, and I love it because all the same arguments against the Chiefs have come back. Now we're complaining about PFF grades towards my quarterback, and he's on pace to have a 4,979 yard total yard season with 44 touchdowns. I think he's having fun.
He's the MVP favorite, which is absolutely incredible that we're saying that after.
What did you say? Your mic cut out there.
He's the MVP favorite.
Okay.
Even though
I did hear it there.
It shouldn't be, because if Daniel Jones's name wasn't Daniel Jones, he would be the MVP favorite.
All right, we are molding the youth of America this morning. Our good
Don't you do that every morning?
Yeah, fortunately, yes, I do.
Unfortunately, thanks, man.
From Creighton Prep, journalism advisor, journalism teacher, golf coach.
Yeah, all those things. Digital media. I like digital media advisor. Sounds classy.
Matt Razgorchek, who is all of the above at Omaha Creighton Prep, has brought students in this morning to be in studio. Good on your kids that they got up early to come in here, because you guys have been in studio since 7:30.
I was gonna say they were actually early. I gave them a call time at 7:15, and I think we rolled out at 7:10.
Nice.
Okay, so you and I have known each other for a long time, from West Side now to Prep. We've never played golf together, but that's okay. But you have a great golf program over at Prep. But this program you add elements every single year. What is different about what you're doing at Prep, maybe to some of the other schools, or that allows, because you got some talent that has moved on to college and moved on above college?
Yeah, it's just kind of, you kind of want to be where they're at, kind of it. And right now, obviously we've been doing broadcasting. It'll be our 10th year next year at Prep. And then
you've been there for that long.
Kind of what?
You've been there for that long?
Yeah, I've been there for that long. And then thanks for that. Appreciate that. And then we're starting to kind of really concentrating on podcasts. We've always had it, but it's just kind of been an afterthought, and now kind of putting a little bit more promotion into it, and they're doing a lot more research. They're realizing you can't just flip on a mic like you guys do, I'm assuming, right?
Thank you. Yes,
no
we
research
do.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
So they're doing the research, because apparently I need to teach them, and they need to learn. So they do their research on what they're going to talk about that week, and then go from there.
And but also the big thing is, and I love this. I wish I had this when I was in high school. Is you guys do a lot of play-by-play of Creighton Prep events. I've seen up close the Friday night group, and it's a great production. Basketball, great production, but a huge advantage that you have to have a cover program like Prep and the sports that you guys do stream. That it gives all these guys an opportunity to get behind a mic and do play-by-play.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer being at Creighton Prep to have, having them talk and learn about and research sports is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah,
it's the easiest teaching gig. I mean, I joke to other teachers. I teach TV and radio, and I coach golf. It's not a tough.
You got a dream job.
Not a tough gig.
I mean, you and Lutke have the two best jobs there. Lutke doesn't do anything.
Exactly. So I just let them run with it. My number one job, or the number one rule in my class is what?
Oh no!
Hey,
don't get me fired.
Okay,
so they don't get me fired, and we're good.
I was gonna say there was like a stunned silence.
There was a lot. There's a really weird.
That was not good. All right, can you introduce the guys that we have in studio this morning?
Sure. We got Connor and Harry. They've got their podcast show.
What's the podcast about, Connor and Harry?
College football.
Yeah. we got Jonah and Bo and Charlie, and they're part of In the Nest. So they've got a podcast show that we're all missing to produce. You didn't have one this week, did you? By week. What's that? You get all, yeah, you take all the views. So they're doing one. Jonah's our producer. These two, and then we're missing one who was sick today.
So real quick, man, I want to ask you this because we have a lot in common. We're both named Matt. We both love golf. We both love to broadcast.
Pretty deep roots there. Yeah.
Very deep roots. What are the similarities between teaching golf and teaching digital media? Or is there anything that you kind of take away from either, and maybe you take lessons from one or lessons from the other?
I think because it's a team mentality,
It
right?
is.
So you've got to realize, and especially for play-by-play, one person that's not pulling their weight. It's one of. I mean, you guys know that obviously.
Mhm.
So it's in that aspect. Everybody's got to know what their role is. Everybody's got to know, and everybody's got to work at it. You can't just go to the first tee and tee. I can't.
Yeah.
Some of my guys can, but I mean, for the most part, you've got to tee it up. You got to practice for the next competition,
Absolutely,
or for the next broadcast.
Can we pull one? I want to pull one of the
Sure.
students. Jonah, can I get Jonah up here for a second? All right, so you're a smart man. You're Mr. Producer. And this is and you'll learn this if you go to college that broadcasting is in need of more producers. And it'll be much easier for you to get a job than a lot of the talent. That's just a fact. What made you want to be a producer? Everybody wants to be on camera. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to have the attention. What makes you want to be on, be the guy behind the scenes?
I feel like I've always liked helping out. I've always liked like doing digital media.
Hell yeah.
But I don't really like to be like, I guess, on the camera.
Okay.
So I get to like, I guess, do the overlays and stuff.
Cool.
And I guess I like to mess with the people on the podcast a lot too about that.
Yeah. That's awesome. I just want to, I probably shouldn't have put the guy that didn't want to be on the microphone, but I just want to give kudos to you, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
We always appreciate our producers.
Hey, you guys all do podcasts. You ever want to host a morning show? Anybody?
I think it's
Well, yeah, you
early
do.
for me.
Well, what time do you have to be in school?
8 a.m. But on weekends I probably get out of bed around 12 or 1. So
Attaboy. Got a grown man. You're a grown man. You got to sleep.
Our day's over by
I know,
now.
I need to.
Wow. Hey, life's gonna change. Okay, you're gonna have a family.
Scary.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have to get up before noon.
I'll take my time.
We've all done that.
What time do you think he gets up at?
I'll say 4. Yeah.
Yeah,
Four.
you're around there, 4:30.
Little
Yeah, I
morning-
don't. I don't
little
sleep.
Morning jog action.
Like this, like last. Yeah, exactly. Last night I stayed up to watch the Lakers Warriors game. So back-to-back nights of late night NFL and late night NBA. I went to bed probably about 12:15. Yeah, I don't sleep.
Yeah, he's a machine.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
he's-
sleep.
he's
All right,
built
play-by-play guys. Give me a signature call. Everybody got a signature.
I haven't done your play-by-play.
Yeah, you don't have a signature call.
I've only ever done color.
All right. All right. No, I'm not giving you that look. No, I love your guys. Okay. Anybody? What's the outlook for Prep? Got to bounce back from a loss to West Side. Big game this Friday that's going to determine some seeding, and then the playoffs.
All right.
With a really, really good team, by the way. This is in Tim's 9th year. Tim Yonk, the head coach, in his 9th year. That's a really good football team. Suffered their first loss last Friday, but I know they'll bounce back. What are we looking like for the postseason?
I feel like we're looking great. I mean, coming off West Side, I feel like that was. I think they played decent. I mean, 52-20.
That early
It could-
turnover hurt.
Yeah, it did. But I feel like they did all they could, and I think they're still positive for Norfolk. And I think they just need to do their job and just take care of Norfolk
Nice.
and get confident going into state. I think they just need to get confident again.
So okay, let's talk about the stud running back.
Oh,
Ooh,
Angelo Walker.
Yes.
Yes. Time. Yeah. I think going into the season, our motto right now is Prep has nobody. But I think before that, because apparently at a meeting, some random coach said Prep has nobody, so they decided to put on.
Oh, okay.
They
I know where
decided
this.
to put on
I know where.
t-shirt.
I know where this comes from. Yeah, I know
But I
what you're
think
saying.
before even the season started, everyone was saying, "Well, we got Angelo Walker," and we were right. So he's one of the top 3 running back in the state right now.
Yes, he is.
I think Tay Jenkins is probably
Tay
ahead of
and
him.
Sutco from Elk
Former
South,
Prep,
and then
which,
Walker
yes,
from Prep.
A little
Yeah.
bittersweet seeing that happen. But yeah, Angelo Walker, I'd say he's doing most of the offense's job. You know, Jack Lammers, there's some plays where he's just not even in, and Angelo Walker's getting the snap. But I think Jack Lammers, especially at West Side, even though the score kind of said otherwise,
Yeah.
he kind of stepped up. You know, he did a little bit better than he normally does. So I think going into Norfolk, he's we're gonna do pretty good. And then
They got a great defense. That defense will bounce back. I have full faith in Coach Moose.
great defense. Yeah, a lot of depth we got.
Yes, and a lot of young depth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have any questions you want to ask on air or want to say hello to anybody? Give a shout out here.
Yeah, say hi to your mom.
Hey, you're on
Somebody
camera.
say-
Yeah, you guys are on camera.
Say hi to my parents.
nice.
Well, they got
Say
names.
hi to your
they
mom.
They got,
Hey, mom.
No,
there
no,
you go.
They got
There
names.
you
I'll
go.
say
Yeah,
hi
say
to
your-
my mom. Her birthday was yesterday.
Okay.
And then I'll make her watch this later.
Happy
She'll be-
birthday.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do for her birthday?
We watched a movie, something about Mary.
Okay,
It was
that's
an interesting movie.
your mom's single.
No,
Jeez, Gary, what is wrong with you?
Well, 'cause
you
I was like-
cannot ask a
was trying to
young
figure-
man
I was trying to
if his
figure out-
mom's single.
I was trying to figure out with the movie if like
I
there was
don't know.
Okay.
Well, she did just get married actually.
Oh, congratulations!
And so
Congrats
they-
to her.
Yeah, so we watched that and we ate pitch.
Oh,
Yep,
that's
and I got her a candle.
Nice. What candle?
For
How do you not remember? You got her the candle.
Maple.
I don't remember.
Pumpkin?
It's,
Maple
it's
butter.
in Regency. It's,
Why are you looking at your
it's a
buddies like they
store-
know what candle
it's a-
you
it's a
bought? them?
store at
They don't know what
Regency.
candle you got them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They're
good
not a
son.
partner. of
Smells
ours, so-
good though.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to say one final thing before we're taking off the air?
Like shout out my dad. I think he's listening to this.
Your dad does listen to the show because we know each other. Yes. So shout out, say hello to your dad when you see him today. Tell him the Sharpie says hello. All right. Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll do this again next week. Who's better, this group or next week's group?
This group for sure. I'm gonna say the end of the mic.
Hey, Matt, you can't. You just said next week's group for sure.
The ratio of views is like 4 to 1.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll ask the guys next week the same thing, and guys will be watching and listening.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck. If you need any references or anything, there's Jimmy.
Yeah.
All right. He'll take care of you. All right.
Thanks, Jimmy.
And don't get into this business. Stay in the podcast world, in the play-by-play world, and you guys will have a lot better life.
Don't grow up
Yeah.
too fast.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
date Taylor Swift is probably my number one piece of advice.
you. Okay. All right.
If you want to be good at podcasting, if you want to have the most popular podcast, date Taylor or be an NFL player.
Hey, Raz, any of these guys golf for you?
Oh wait, no wait.
Jonah.
Wow. No, Bo,
That was rude.
Bo's on my
Oh.
team. Total whiffed on that.
Bo, you, Alex Shaky, kind of very similar, right? You and Alex. You familiar with Alex?
Alex. Oh, I do know who that is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You better.
He
Yeah.
was pretty good.
He was really good. Played at Iowa. Played at Iowa, right?
He played at Iowa. Yes.
Yep.
Go Hawks.
Yes. I gave him the business at the Pinnacle Bank. I just followed him around for a couple holes, just going Nebraska, because he has Hawkeyes on his bag.
Great call.
Yes.
That didn't work though.
No, he was pretty
Not a
focused.
coincidence that the two best golfers in prep went to Iowa.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, you know,
Hey, our next best player is going to Nebraska.
That's true. He is.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. He'll be very, very good.
He will be very good.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next week. Good luck this weekend. Continued success. These guys do a great job. I've happened to hang out with them in your classroom. So thank you, Raz.
Thank you.
And good luck to those guys. All right. When we come back, we'll get some calls here. We got some calls on hold. We got John Walker, top of the hour, and then Brandon Vogel as well, and Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. Hey, thank you. You guys want to take a picture? All right, happy hump day, everybody. To the phones we go on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here is Tony. Tony, thanks for holding. Welcome to the show. When he called back, here is Brian. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for holding, sir.
Good. Hey, I got a kind of a scenario for you. I was listening to your talking about Gannon, but I was listening to bits and pieces, so I didn't catch the whole thing. But when Gannon was the AD at Washington, did he hire DeBoer?
No.
No, he didn't. Okay. Well, okay. So let me throw this.
But he did hire Jed Fish. He did hire Jed Fish.
Okay, let me throw this out to you. Gannon is a pretty savvy guy. I think he's the best athletic director we've had in quite a while. And I don't think he's going to be caught off guard.
No.
What do you, and I'm just throwing this out there. I mean, you got to think that he's preparing for Rule to leave. I mean, or, he's got his, but I don't know how they do it. The back channels, or well, maybe not. I don't know how that all works. But anyway, okay. Here's my scenario.
Okay.
What about them reaching out to see if Kalen DeBoer wants to come back to the Midwest?
Yeah, I don't.
If it's,
Look,
you don't think so?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong in reaching out. I mean, I'd reach out to everybody, right? But I just don't think you're going to leave Alabama and the SEC and also.
Well, no, you're not going to. But But look at he loses one game and it's like the world's coming to the end down there. He lost Florida State.
Brian, let me introduce you to Nebraska.
Yeah.
He's got, now that things have settled down, they're playing really, really well, and they might have a chance to win a national championship in year number 2. The resources are better in Tuscaloosa than they are in Lincoln, even though the heat is similar. Maybe at the end of his career, he gets closer to home. I mean, to be honest, there was a lot of discussion before, DeBoer ended up at Washington of, man, wouldn't have DeBoer, because of his connection to the state of South Dakota and coaching in South Dakota, been a perfect fit for here? I think, I think that's he's good at Alabama right now.
Yeah, I thought I had read one time where he grew up a Nebraska fan, DeBoer did, and this was his dream job. But I thought I read that somewhere.
That could be. I mean, that could be a possibility. I don't know that, but the part of him growing up in making a name and growing up in South Dakota is true. Yep.
Yeah.
Brian, thanks for the phone call. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you had no comment. Call back, Brian. Tell Jimmy what you wanted to say. Just everybody. Just the next 60 days are going to be
exhausting.
I don't know that exhausting. I think just prepare yourself for the next 60 days of anything could happen and nothing can happen. And that's the best way to approach it. Really good CEOs, which Dannon is, you're always prepared for the best case and worst case scenarios, and you never want to be caught off guard. And I would imagine anything that is being discussed, they keep it to themselves, and they have I think they have an understanding of how this works because they both have been in the business. They both have been fired. Or one's been fired. They've hired coaches. Okay, so they know, and you know somebody well enough that you can sit down and go, okay, what are you thinking? That you will not be caught off guard. And I believe that Dannon is one of those people that is always prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, you're always prepared for the best case and worst case scenarios, and nothing's going to catch you off guard. And you want to be out in front of things instead of reactionary. That if you have to all of a sudden go looking for a football coach around Thanksgiving, you already have that coach in mind, and you have a sense that this could happen. And so you've already started things where things have to act quickly. You can't have the long, drawn-out coaching searches anymore. You have to identify your guy through back channels, through agents, because everything is first handled with an agent. Hey, we might have an opening. Would your client be interested? The agent goes to the client.
Yeah.
They say, hey, there's a possibility that the Nebraska job could be open. Would you be interested? Because they have an interest in you. And if that person says yes, then things take place without you ever talking to the person that you may eventually hire initially.
Sure.
And you start the process. and then all of a sudden you end up in a secret ballroom in San Francisco or wherever. So I think if we got to this point, Dannon would have a sense that this could happen, and he's already started it. But in the next 60 days, prepare for the best case and worst case scenario, and we'll see what happens. And while that's all going on, they're going to play 5 more football games during those 60 days. And hey, things internally may be different from what we think externally.
Oh, a million
Yeah.
percent.
I mean, there may be internally, hey, I'm not going anywhere,
Yeah.
Troy, but let's go get some cash for the program.
It could definitely be a leverage.
I'm not going anywhere, but don't let it out. It's just you and I.
Or
and I.
Or he definitely could be on the top of the Penn State list and might be looking to go there. In that case, I don't think Troy Dannon has proven to not think that he isn't prepared for any sort of scenario. I think you put it perfectly.
I would just like to know, even if Rule stays, like, who is the number one guy, Troy?
You just want to see, you're just looking for lists. You just want to see the lists.
I would like to know them all. Like, I mean, he didn't really hire a volleyball coach.
You know what?
But let's say Fred gets hit by a bus. That would be unfortunate.
That would be
who's at the top of his men's basketball list?
I think you're onto something with a pretty good athletic article of like anonymous athletic directors and what their anonymous list would be if they had to hire a coach right now, a new coach right now.
Yeah, if I'm going to break into an athletic director's office, I'm not going to go. I don't know why you would, but I'm going to go to the top left drawer where the list is. That's what I'm taking.
Is that what they tell you?
Okay, I'm not taking a computer. Okay, I'm not taking like some memorabilia. I'm just going to look for the list. I want to see the list.
You sound like the conspiracy theorist on Twitter. They just want the list. Everybody just wants to get the list. And they know it's real. Give it to us. Tell us the list.
I don't know. Just the next 60 days, prepare for the best case, worst case scenario. And while that's going on, I got 5 football games to play. And who knows? When Nebraska goes to Penn State, it may not be awkward at all.
Hey, who knows? Maybe Dannon's on his own list.
I mean, now that would be the shocker if Dannon decided to leave.
Look, that would be.
That would be the biggest shocker of them all.
God.
All right. In Dannon, we trust.
I guess.
In Rule, we must win.
I guess.
Put it on a shirt. Coming up in the last hour, John Walker and Brandon Vogel on 1620 The Zone. All right, 12 days. We're going to shift gears here a little bit from football to some basketball with our very versatile next guest. He can talk football as well. 12 days from now, college basketball begins. It is almost here. Media days happening yesterday at MSG. The Big East does a great job with their media days and the presentation on Peacock. John Walker on top of it all from the World Herald. He joins us for his Wednesday appearance. Good morning.
Whiskey.
Good morning. What's up, guys?
Hey, how are you feeling? Is today a good day? Did you wake up and drop a triple double?
No, I didn't. I didn't wake up and drop a triple double, but I woke up. So
Context.
I'd consider that a good day.
Okay, I don't know how to follow that one up, but I'm going to try.
I did a Gary Sharp. I was quoting the song of before the guest got on here. It was a good day by Ice Cube. And I thought, John Walker, you would like to,
It's a good day to have a good day.
It's a good day to have a great day.
Let me ask you, you did something very interesting, and I want to know where it started from because I loved it. You brought back the Big East poll that was done, in Syracuse? And it hadn't really been done consistently for a while, and you brought it back and put it in the paper the other day. Walk me through the idea of doing your own Big East Omaha World Herald media poll.
Yeah, I just thought that the league deserved it. And I'm not saying I'm doing a service to the Big East or anything, but it's a big enough of a league, right? It is a high major as far as basketball is concerned. It's a power conference league, and I think all of the others minus the Big 12. Maybe the Big 10 is, I can't remember, but they don't have a media poll. So I thought the Big East deserved one. We could shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them.
Nice.
Thanks. And
good job.
And yeah, but no, I've got to give a lot of credit to our executive editor Ben Duty. We were in the newsroom a few weeks ago, and we were just talking about stuff. I was working on some of the 17 days of Jay's stuff, and he was asking me what my ballot would be in the Big East media poll. And I was like, well, there isn't one. And he was like, oh, well, why don't you do it? Mm-hmm. I said, I'd never considered that. So yeah, that's really how it came about. I appreciate everybody who participated. It was super fun. I think it created a little bit more buzz. At least that was the goal. So hope to continue that in the future and see that thing grow.
From your media poll to the poll that was put out yesterday by the coaches, where the top three are kind of consistent across the board of anybody that's talking Big East basketball. Anything surprise you from the rankings of the 11 teams or any of the guys that showed up, maybe an Owen Freeman on the first team, second team, honorable mention? Any surprises yesterday when you saw that come out?
Yeah, Owen Freeman wasn't really that shocking. I have our poll results pulled up. We had 16 voters. He got 4 all Big East team votes. We just asked voters to give us their player of the year plus 5, similar to how the Big East does it with their postseason awards. So the only 2 consensus picks in our poll were Zuby Ejiofor and Solo Ball. And obviously Zuby was the player of the year. So the only consensus player named to our all Big East team was Solo Ball. Alex Caravan was a couple votes shy. But yeah, I don't really know if there was anything crazy surprising. Our poll had Josh Dix and Owen Freeman flipped. We didn't have a second team, but Owen would have been on it. Josh Dix was on our first team. So no, as far as awards go, I think we all knew Zuby was going to win preseason player of the year and deservedly so. I think maybe Marquette and Providence. Providence was 4th in the coaches poll, right? Do I have that wrong?
No, they were.
So yeah, we had Marquette and Providence flipped. I personally had Providence 4th over Marquette. But I wasn't sure if that would be the consensus, especially among the league's coaches. But it certainly was. So no, And then the other big thing, guys, is nobody, whether in our poll or seemingly the coaches poll, nobody knew how to think of Xavier.
Yeah.
Mostly new roster, little Patino's there. Like they're going to take a year to transition. So yeah, nobody really knew what to do with them. They were 10th out of 11 in our poll. I can't remember what they were in the Big East, maybe 8th. So yeah, they'll finish somewhere down there. But I think they might surprise some more people than we thought. But who knows? Well, I guess we'll revisit that conversation in February.
Look, they weren't playing bones yelling domino in LA yesterday. They were playing some basketball.
Nah, they sure weren't.
No, they were not. They were not going 7-11, 7-11. But they were trying to beat the Golden State Warriors. That was the LA Lakers. And watching the game, did you watch the game yesterday, Walker?
No, I didn't. Truthfully, I didn't. I watched the Thunder Rockets game, and by the time that one was done, I was like, do I really want to stay up to watch LeBronless Lakers?
No, you didn't.
So no, I didn't. But maybe I should have, because Luka went crazy.
He had a pretty good game. But watching the game yesterday, if you're a basketball watcher and you're a fan of basketball, I think you were reminded there's a difference between verticality and physicality, where the Lakers are very vertical, but they're not physical. And it kind of reminded me of St. John's, right? Last year, St. John's, maybe they weren't the tallest team, but they were a physical team. They hurt you. Do you think that will continue to be a theme for St. John's this year? And how do you think this iteration of Creighton basketball would respond to that physicality?
Well, we've kind of seen how they've responded to the physicality. It's a 50-50 measure. You know, let's look at the last 2 years when St. John's is, and then I'll circle back around.
Sure.
You know, St. John's has come to Omaha twice the past 2 seasons, and they've both been 1-point games. I remember after the first one, Greg McDermott described it as a mud fight that Creighton won. And I believe after this past year, he said something along the lines of, if you question this team's toughness, boy, you're barking up the wrong tree. So they've handled those, right? Like they handled those St. John's physicality in those 1-point wins. And then let's talk about the first year. They go to the Garden and get absolutely blitzed by St. John's. The physicality was too much. The shot making was too much. The Garden was too much. This past season was some of the same, but I don't know if we'll ever know how those final few minutes play out because of the Ryan Kalkbrenner injury or absence, if you will, when he briefly went down and then went to the locker room, came back out. So I don't know. Like it's a 50-50. It's a small sample size, but the result's 50-50.
Yeah.
Whether Creighton can handle the physicality of St. John's on any given night, right? I don't think that St. John's will have that same overwhelming physicality this year. Now, sure, their front court's going to have that with Bryce Hopkins and with Zuby Ejiofor, but there's no like long-armed Kadari Richmond sitting right there at the top of the key anymore. And that will help opposing teams, opposing ball handlers in particular. So I don't, you listen to Patino talk yesterday. He said they're further ahead offensively than they are defensively, which I don't think anybody in their mother would have said about St. John's the past 2 seasons. So I would think that says more about the pieces that St. John's added as offensive assets more so than St. John's physicality at the moment. Will that evolve? Sure. It's a Rick Pitino team. But right now, it seems like you need to be more worried about St. John's scoring than stopping you from scoring.
I worry about their back. I mean, it's not a worry of me. I'm not a St. John's fan, but I question their backcourt. Let's go back to Friday night. And, of course, there's another exhibition game. Colorado State comes in here at 6:00 on Saturday. The first half, Creighton is, to me, against Iowa State, what they can be. The second half is why I say until they figure out the rotation and get guys comfortable, there's a little bit of patience of making a sweeping judgment about this team. But was there anything that was better or maybe worse than you previously thought when you got to watch them in that kind of a setting for the first time?
Probably Nick Graves. I went through the offseason under the impression that he was Creighton's starting point guard. That's what I was told. The day he committed, the day he signed, was that he was the successor to Stephen Ashworth. And there were a lot of people throughout the offseason, as recently as 2 weeks ago, that questioned whether Nick Graves was this team's starting point guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope everybody saw on Friday night that he absolutely positively is. So I think Nick Graves was better than a lot of people gave him credit for, and probably won't make that mistake again now that he's shown what he can do. Because as impressive as the team high 13 points were, like Greg McDermott noted that what stood out more was his 5 assists to 1 turnover. We all, like, Stephen Ashworth was really good running Creighton's offense, and he turned it over a bunch through the latter half of last season because he was the primary ball handler until Jemiah Neal really settled in. And I wrote about all that last year, talked to Stephen about it and this, that, and the other. And it just kind of was what it was. And so to have 5 assists to 1 turnover from Nick Graves, albeit in an exhibition, is really encouraging. I don't know. I guess I expected a few more points from Josh Dix, if you will. Didn't shoot it all too well. I was really waiting to see if he would, like, now, guys, I know it's an exhibition. But I was waiting to see if he would really, like, assert himself offensively. I don't think that's, I thought that's what I was looking for, and I don't think I saw that. Maybe I've got to go back and watch it a second time, or a third, I guess, a second rewatch. But those were the 2 things that I left thinking that night. The defense was better than I thought it could have been or would have been, especially after those first few minutes. Like Greg McDermott made the joke that it looked like an Iowa State layup line, and I thought the Cyclones were going to do that the entire game, and then they kind of walled up a little bit, and Iowa State missed some shots, but Creighton's rotations were really on point. Especially during that 23-0 run. So, yeah, those were kind of my thoughts. I unfortunately will not be there Saturday for the Colorado State exhibition. I'm the worst, I know.
We'll see you at Memorial Stadium then.
No, I will not. I will not even be in the States. My girlfriend's best friend is getting married.
Wow. Wow. Let's
yeah.
any hot takes on that wedding? I will not
be it either.
Okay. So is your girlfriend in the wedding?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
All
no.
right. So okay.
You kind of have to go.
All right. Have you been given the A-OK to watch multiple events on your phone while you're at the wedding?
Great question.
Yeah. I'll probably I'll for sure have the exhibition up. Let me, I don't have YouTube TV, but maybe I'll have to invest so I can get a little, like, multi-view going.
I mean, automatically, I think you go to the bottom of the registry after scheduling a wedding on a college football Saturday and a Creighton basketball Saturday. Are we in agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
but no, it'll be a good time. Thankfully,
dig out.
Thankfully, it is only an exhibition.
There you go.
So as far as Creighton's concerned,
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. No, this is really good practice for when, like, if your girlfriend asks you, like, are you annoyed? You'd be like, no, it's only an exhibition. It's not like it's
only an exhibition.
Yeah. Now, when you go back and you do watch the game in whatever capacity that you'll watch it in, is there anything in particularly that you are looking for? Is there anything that John Walker kind of wants to see, maybe not needs to see, but is looking forward to seeing before you're officially in the regular season?
Well, based on what Greg McDermott said, after the Iowa State exhibition, it seems like Owen Freeman and Jackson McAndrew could play against Colorado State. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows? He doesn't want to rush Owen back from the meniscus tear, obviously. And as Max said, they are absolutely not going to test anything minor with Jackson McAndrew because, again, it's just an exhibition, so it's not worth it. So maybe there's a chance they play, and I think if they do, I would just simply want to see first and foremost how Owen looks. Like, is he getting up and down the floor? Because, guys, he hasn't practiced fully since February until recently, right? Yeah. But he was with Iowa, obviously, played really well last season, had the season-ending finger surgery, and that was in February. So then he gets to Creighton. He's finally healthy. He transfers. He's in the beginning of off-season workouts. They send the guys home for a week or so, and that's when he tears his meniscus. And he didn't really start practicing until a couple weeks ago, So he not only has to get in conditioning shape, he has to get in basketball shape, which means something way different at Creighton than it does at Virginia. So on a team that wants to get up and down the floor, how quickly can Owen Freeman get in that kind of shape?
Sure.
That's going to be the thing that I would watch for on Saturday, and I will watch for on a rewatch if he plays. And let's say that Jackson McAndrew and Owen Freeman don't play again. I think I would need to see, or would love to see, Josh Dix assert himself offensively. Walk somebody down. He loves to get to the mid-range spot, and he's really good at doing it. Like, walk somebody down to the elbow, put a move on them, and just nail one. Now, I don't think that's going to be Creighton, like this team in particular, especially. What made them really good in the first half against Iowa State is their connectivity. Like they had, I don't even remember, they had a bunch of assists on a bunch of makes. And when that stopped in the second half is when Iowa State started to crank up the pressure, started to create turnovers, and started to get back in the game. So I would love to see Josh Dix do that, but I don't know if that'll be the identity of this team, period. Someone will have to do it at some point, sure. Like, someone would have to take the game-winning shot against Villanova in Philadelphia, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who is that guy? I don't know if that guy's easily identifiable right now. So yeah, those might be the two things I'm looking for, and then the evolving thing, of course, is the defense.
Yeah, that probably won't be decided for a while. J-Dub, as always.
No.
Yeah, as always, we appreciate it. Next week we'll 2 weeks from today we'll be on a game day against South Dakota. So enjoy your weekend. I hope it is a lovely wedding, and then we got to get back to work.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
That is John Walker from the Omaha World Herald. 2 weeks from today. Let's go Creighton. Beat the Yotes. All right.
Oh yeah, Summit League, baby.
Yeah.
Help out
Creighton
Omaha.
can beat the hell out of everybody from the Summit League.
How about
that
the
is
best,
not Omaha?
How about the best team in the state of Nebraska, the Omaha Mavericks?
Well, they're the highest ranked in their conference. So let's play a
Yes.
quick game of high-low. So
Okay.
now everybody's had their media days. Creighton, third in the preseason Big East poll. Higher, lower, same?
Same.
I will say higher.
Okay.
I don't have as much faith in St. John's. I know there's Patino. I know because look at their guards.
Yeah.
So, and they're not going to go 18-2 like they went last year. And UConn's back. Okay. Hurley ain't messing around. Okay. He's back.
Yeah. Oh, big.
So I will say that Creighton will finish second. All right.
Okay.
Nebraska, 14th in the Big Ten. Same, lower, higher.
I'll go higher.
I'll go higher too. I
higher.
wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska's 11th or 12th.
That's what I was.
But you can't get the thing with Nebraska and I think with both Nebraska and Creighton and a little bit of Omaha, because Omaha has a big boost coming at mid-semester, is we might have to wait on all three teams to make a sweeping judgment until maybe the second week in January.
I think that's
because all have a lot of depth, and they have head coaches that are trying to figure out the 8 to 9 guys that are going to play and how they're all going to fit together. There's also the chemistry. Omaha's a little bit older than Creighton and Nebraska in terms of returning guys, but I think you're going to have to just wait to see how everybody's going to mesh together. So I will say Nebraska is going to finish higher than 14th. But one thing about Nebraska is we had so much fun 2 years ago, and the guy that was part of that fun is back, and he's going to need to be better than 12, 7, and 3. And I think that 3 will go up. I think the 12 will go up. I think the 7's got to go up, but I don't know if that's his strength.
Specialty. Yeah.
Is you can't as fun as 2 years ago for Nebraska basketball. You can't go another year getting further away from that.
No.
So somehow, some way, they have to find a way to get us to March 1, and they show up on Bracket Wag or TK brackets.
Sure.
In at least the discussion.
I think that your opinion on maybe we have to wait off just a little bit to make sweeping generalizations of these 3 teams is valid because they're all replacing their best player.
Mm-hmm.
You got to replace Kalkbrenner. You got to replace Sutton. You got to replace Bryce Williams. Someone's got to step up in each of those teams. Now, I think some of those teams have more identifiable candidates to do that than others. But all 3 have some questions, and so we got to figure. It's going to take a couple of games to figure out if those questions are easily answerable.
I would say Omaha will be the same.
I think so too.
But we don't know about the Frenchman, Paul Jobert. Who's got this deep French accent.
Why did you turn into Ricky Bobby?
Jobert.
Ricky Bobby.
Jobert. Because I met him a couple of times, and he's always very polite.
Yeah.
And he's 6'7", by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got some leets on that.
He has this deep French accent.
I got good eyes.
My name is Paul Jobert. I go, how do you pronounce your last name? Jobert.
Can you drop me a Ricky Bobby?
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. All right, when we
Say
come
you
back,
like crepes.
Hey, when we come back, we really want Matt Rule to be PJ Fleck, don't we?
Win. So yeah, I would like him to win. Maybe.
Plus, did Dylan catch a stray from Iowa's quarterback or no?
Oh, great.
Yesterday in a
great.
discussion about Minnesota's 9 sacks.
Oh, great.
We'll do that when we return. Brandon Vogel will stop by. He's got some thoughts midweek ahead of Nebraska Northwestern. The winner gets to go to a bowl game.
Will Mike McMaster or Matt McMaster go to a bowl game this season? We'll find out Saturday.
Well, when Nebraska wins, you're both going to share father and son angst.
Maybe. Potentially.
Better take that Wildcat flag down. All right, break time. It's Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. Hey, congratulations are in order here at NRG Media Omaha. Our general manager, Keely Byers, has been recognized by one of the really solid publications in our industry, the Radio Inc. magazine. She is the GM of the year. So congratulations to her.
Congrats, Keely. Awesome stuff.
She was in New York City and won the award. And that's in our industry, that's a really, really great publication. And so congratulations to Keely. Now maybe we'll have a party here to celebrate with free drinks and food. Well, I would suggest that. Hopefully it happens.
What are you bringing to the Energy Media potluck on November 18th?
Too bad I'll be out of town.
Oh, damn it. I wanted to try the Sharp family sweet potato casserole recipe. Is that you strike me as a sweet
I will be on my
family.
2-week road trip to LSU, and then
that's right.
We're going to spend I think 8 days in Miami.
Are you going to be
play
like
one time
when we do a show together? Are you going to be like Stephen A. Smith when he's in Miami? You're going to have like the Miami Vice, the nice shades, the button-up shirt, maybe a couple buttons to unbutton, some hair coming out.
Yeah, I got the carpet taken care of. So this is a regional weekend in college football. We get the big regional rivalry between Northwestern and Nebraska. A great game. And if anybody would like to go, I'm seriously thinking about going to the Dakota Marker game in Brookings. The game's at 7:00 Saturday night. I know the head coaches. So I think, and especially the guy at South Dakota State, maybe he can get his tickets because it's sold out. So South Dakota State and North Dakota State play.
Yeah.
North Dakota State's number 1, Cole Payton, going against Alex Bullock.
Wow.
West Side against Prep. But that game is at 7. It's going to be on ESPNU. They thought that game day was going to be in Brookings.
That would have been cool.
So when McAfee first made his first appearance on game day, it was in Brookings.
That's awesome.
And he wasn't like a full-time guy. So that game's at 7. Iowa, Minnesota play for the Pig at Kinnick at 2:30. So it is regional weekend around here.
It is not.
It is.
It's okay.
Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota State, South Dakota State for the Dakota Marker, and Northwestern.
Nope.
Nebraska.
Nope. Stop your sentence after.
A lot of people say Chicago, Lincoln are the same.
They're not. They're not even close to being the same.
Are you sure? I've driven in some rough parts of Chicago, and I've driven down Cornhusker Highway.
Hey Gary, this is one of the rare moments where I have way more credibility when it comes to this conversation than you do. They're nothing alike. Maybe Lincoln is a little bit like Lincoln Park in Chicago. If you know, you know. There's some younger area, nice restaurants, plenty of bars. You can walk around, pretty accessible. The crime isn't terrible.
People are saying on the stream, the chat rooms, yes, I'd rather live in Lincoln than Chicago.
No, you wouldn't.
So that's why the Northwestern players are going to show up. They're going to stay at the Graduate downtown. Pat Fitzgerald used to walk to the stadium. He didn't like to get in the bus and go to the stadium. He liked to walk.
Easy walk.
But Northwestern will stay at the Graduate. Then they'll get in their buses and they'll go to Memorial Stadium. They're like, man, we don't have this problem. This is great. This is better than being in Chicago. They will say that. So regional rivalry weekend. I got 2 stats for you. Ready?
I love your stats.
Because I was listening to some Iowa stuff yesterday, and Mark Gronowski was asked about the 9 sacks by Minnesota, and his observation was maybe the quarterback was holding the ball a little bit too long.
I don't think that's a bad observation for Mark Gronowski.
No, but people got really, really excited. Well, that game is on Black Friday, but if you watch it, so the question was really awkward.
Okay.
And I don't think he was taking a shot at Dylan. He was just saying why Minnesota had success.
Yeah.
But will they have success against Iowa's Tim Tebow? Do you know that Mark Gronowski has not thrown a touchdown pass since the 13th of September?
That's wild.
In the Big Ten, he has 0 touchdown passes, and he has 7 rushing touchdowns.
That's crazy.
He is the Tim Tebow of the Big Ten.
That is
now,
insane.
Here's the other stat that is going to make a lot of people mad.
Oh, okay. I like this.
Okay. I do not know, Don. I'll ask Matt in just a moment. In the last 23 games that Iowa football has played, that they are either a 3-point underdog or a 3-point favorite. Would you like to guess what their record is in those 23 games?
3-point underdog or 3 points
Yeah.
straight up?
Since 2019,
yeah.
Iowa football has played 23 games where they are a 3-point favorite or a 3-point underdog.
I would say they're 15-8.
Jimmy?
I'm going to go 17-6.
You guys are going to be ticked off. This is Iowa football in a nutshell. They're 20-3.
No way.
I thought about
So the Penn
19 to
State
20.
game fell under this +3
Umbrella.
or -3. They are 20-3 since 2019 in those games. So there's an identity game going on for a pig.
Yeah.
One of the things that was said yesterday that I went, Jesus, the Minnesota loss is just going to linger forever, is Iowa said, they were talking to Logan Jones, the center from Council Bluffs Lewis Central. And your PFF grades, you'll also get ticked off. They murdered Penn State on Iowa's offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
Iowa's offensive line graded really, really well. He said, to beat Minnesota, we're going to have to be the more physical team, and we are a physical team. So that shows you how physical Minnesota is. And I went, but so Fleck the day before spoke. Like, I think, you know what? I think as Nebraska people, you're going, man, can both teams lose? All right.
No, I mean, they can't even
Sinkhole?
die.
Iowa and Nebraska fans get together and go, yeah, we hate Minnesota. Minnesota and Nebraska fans get together and they go, we hate Iowa. Minnesota and Iowa fans get together and go, we hate and beat Nebraska. That sucks. So Fleck was talking, and the fair catch kerfuffle came up again.
Yeah.
Like it always does. And now that they're back in Iowa City, it will come up again this weekend.
DeJean's still having nightmares.
I think after a couple of days past Minnesota, Rule has talked, coordinators have talked, Fleck has talked. PJ Fleck is what we want Matt Rule to be.
In what?
Substantive
Yeah.
over showman. And maybe to go from a showman to having substance when you're in the 9th year and you're winning football games. Now, at Nebraska, you would like them to win more football games than Minnesota.
Yeah.
But you would also like them to have an identity. And there definitely is an identity that if a team in this league says, we are physical, but we got to be more physical to beat that particular team, I think we want Matt Rule to be PJ Fleck. Substance from a showman, started as a showman, went to substance, also get to be a showman, and you appreciate the showman and the substance mixed together.
I think less so maybe that they want them specifically to be PJ Fleck. And I think more so what you're talking about is Nebraska fans want Nebraska to win and then be able easily to point as to why they won and say, hey, that is doable again.
The identity game.
Because
the
even
identity game.
Even the wins that Nebraska's had this season, let's be real, right? The comeback against Michigan State, the comeback against Maryland, you got to hold on, you got to make a big play against Cincinnati. It's not as if you point to those wins and go, hey, that's easily replicable. No. And I want to do it just like I did it that way. You don't want to win those games. Exactly
so there's another thing that was said yesterday in Tuesday Talking is USC is getting called out by alums for being soft against Notre Dame and being soft, that their head coach is soft, their game plan is soft, they're soft, period. So you know what the response will be. Lincoln Riley don't care what y'all say.
No.
He has made that pretty clear. That we will hear at some point, because USC has this weekend off before they come to Lincoln, they're going to have bloodbath practices. They're going to beat each other up, and they're going to come in here to be physical. So get ready. Next 2 weeks will be kind of fun around here.
Isn't that
Make sure you wear black next Saturday night, because if you're not, the youngins are going to call in and they're going to complain to Big Red Overreaction about not everybody's participating in the blackout. This is why you can't have good things.
That might be the fifth. That might be the fifth Rich Eisen coaching cliche is we had a great week of practice. I mean, we were incredibly physical. I just love the work that these guys put in this week and their ability to respond, what we went through the week before, I couldn't be prouder of them. And we're just excited to get back out of the field and prove up what we can do. There you go. I just gave you you don't have to listen to one press conference this week.
Wolf of Pimp Street says now that Lincoln and Chicago are considered the same,
They're
wondering
not.
if the National Guard will be headed to Lincoln next week.
No, I don't think they'll be on the way.
They wouldn't have far to travel. They're based right there in Lincoln.
No, I don't think they'll be on Fortunately, we joke around with Lincoln being crime town, but they're, comparatively, I think everybody.
Lincoln has never had the National Guard sent to the capital city in Nebraska.
Nope.
Safe. They should use that as a recruiting tool.
Did Jim Pillen also just happen to win $1.4 million gambling?
No, but he's a good pig farmer. Yeah. All right. Brandon Vogel coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
He just got lucky.
And we are back with a good friend from counterread.com who is trying to sift through everything that happened on Friday night and put it out there for all of you. Now we're going to talk about it. Brandon Vogel, good Wednesday morning.
Good morning, guys.
Let's dive this way because there is we were talking about this game could be limited possessions. And if you get a lead, you might sit on a lead. So Nebraska this year in the first quarter has outscored the opposition 50-13. And our good friend Michael Severe just put out a little nugget about rules time at Nebraska. When Nebraska leads at halftime, they're 5-3. When they're tied, they're 2-3. This year in the third quarter, Nebraska's been outscored 59-42, but even worse against Power 4, Brandon. They've been outscored 52-7. And when Nebraska trails at halftime under Matt Rule, they are 0-9. So those numbers mean what?
Well, for this week in particular, I think broadly, they kind of point me in the direction, and I haven't studied it extensively at this point, of what are the adjustments being made? Because there have been multiple games in the past. The Illinois game from last year might stand out as the clearest example of both teams went into halftime. Nebraska was in control of that game, and what do you want to call it? Outcoached, outschemed, whatever. That, in my opinion, in my memory of that game, is what happened with that one. So I think that's a potential big picture one for this week as it pertains to Northwestern. Nebraska needs this not to look like a Big Ten game, I think, and that's going to mean stopping the run. If Nebraska's close to 30 points, they're probably going to win because Northwestern over its 4-game win streaks, 20-17, 24-14, those type of games. So they've got to get away from that piece of it, which is an interesting conflict because coming in, and everything they say is Rule certainly knows that's how you have to win in this league. Yeah. I'm not sure this team is set up to win that way. And some of those numbers you just mentioned bear that out.
So, and Gary and I have talked about this a little bit, but I think naked eye, right? Run game, right? Northwestern's going to run the ball. Nebraska's going to run the ball, and it's going to be about who can be more effective on the ground. But let me twist it the other way for you, Brandon. Is this a linebacker game?
It definitely could be, because I think one of the under-explored aspects of that Maryland game, and Nebraska was getting run on a little bit during stretches of that Maryland game, but their important response, they went with a lot more 3 down in that game to get another linebacker on the field, essentially, and I think it worked. Vincent Shavers goes out in the Minnesota game. Okay, maybe you don't feel as good about his backup as you do another lineman, so they play a lot more 4 down. So it stands to reason against a team like Northwestern that runs football 60% of the time. You want to get bigger up front.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that's the case. To your point, Matt, I think having Shavers back and being able to be adaptable and play another linebacker when you want to is probably the key factor. Because look, 4 down, 3 down, it hasn't made much of a difference from what I've seen from the numbers for Nebraska in terms of the success of that defensive line in particular. It's still about tackling.
Yeah.
And if you feel like your best tacklers are your top 3 linebackers or whatever it may be, that's what you want to have going into this game.
Okay, so they're a young team. I think they're a little immature. They have some flaws. They also have some positives, but they also have a lingering thing about a comment that was made yesterday by one of the older guys who I don't consider him soft, but his comment would make you believe, well, is Nebraska soft? And I'm talking about Luke Lindenmeyer. What's your reaction when he says the game plan on Friday night was we were going in maybe wanting to put on a show rather than be ready for a 60-minute fight? And you look at the first 3 plays. The first 2 were RPOs. Dylan throws it on the first one. The second one, there's miscommunication, and you have Hunter run blocking instead of running a route. Is that just a, hey, bad night? That's my observation, or is that something to look back on over the next 5 games to see how close Nebraska is to either being that or getting away from putting on a show compared to a 60-minute fight?
No, I think it's a key distinction. And in some ways, this week has been interesting because I've tried to write this a number of ways, and I don't know that I've ever nailed it to my satisfaction. But in some ways, this has been, I think, when you look at Nebraska's Big Ten era as a whole, the key issue for Nebraska of you haven't beaten Minnesota going into that game in 6 tries and yet this is still the opponent on the road on a short week that this happens against. And I mean, it's all like big picture kind of theorizing of it's just they've never quite fallen into the Big Ten middle where they are with the Iowas, the Minnesotas, et cetera, especially now in an expanded league of, oh, we know that this is just hard work. And there's like book length reasons probably for that would be worth exploring. But it's tough. I wrote about on Monday, Matt Rule now has 3 losses as more than a touchdown favorite. So think about, like, if you could just, and I know you can't do this, but if you could flip UCLA or Illinois from last year, UCLA from last year, and Minnesota from there, they were at least a touchdown favorite in all of those. Matt Rule's 14-5 since the start of 2024. That's a 70% winning percentage, which I think wasn't that the cutoff that Leach couldn't get into the Hall of Fame. Like if you're hitting that, like the only people better than you are like Urban Meyer at Ohio State, et cetera. And it's why it kind of continually feels, I think, like at 6:56 p.m. on last Friday night, I thought Nebraska was clearly making progress, and I still do. But these losses like wipe out so much of that. And it comes down to, hey, you truly have to treat it as a 1-week season. And they all say those things, nameless, faceless opponent, all of the catchphrases we've heard over the years. The results show that Nebraska doesn't truly live it to this point. And that's the ongoing issue. It's probably the biggest issue.
So you just brought up something, and maybe your ears were hot because this is what I'm about to ask you. So 2 years ago, the line, right? The buzzword was standard in the first year of the Matt Rule era. The second buzzword last year was execution, right? We got to execute. This year, I don't think it's a buzzword, but it's a buzz phrase. Okay. Every game is going to be like this. All of them say that every game is going to be this close. Every game in the Big Ten is going to be like this. And part of me, Brandon, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little frustrated here, goes ahead and is like, they don't have to be. They don't really have to be. You could just go out and maybe actually cover the spread. But when John Butler says, yeah, this is the Big Ten, and in the Big Ten, you got to be able to run the ball and you got to be able to stop the run, and Nebraska struggles to do both. Is it an unfair question to ask, what have you been doing and what are we doing here? Is that unfair to say? Why, if you have identified those are the 2 things that you need to do, why haven't you built the roster in the last 3 years to actually go out and execute that? Is that unfair to ask?
No, I don't think so. And it's, it's interesting in that I think the plan coming in 2023 was certainly that. Like that's basically what Rule prescribed in his introductory press conference. And, we saw the move to Holgorsen, which I think is still a net positive, no matter how the last game went. And I think Butler has been better than I would have projected so far. But I think in terms of roster construction, it might be a case of, well, you got what you got at this point. You tried to address what you could through the portal and had some success there, certainly, for this 2025 group. But, yeah, you might, with that defensive line is young, and by Big Ten standards, undersized as it is at this point, you might just struggle with that. So it can be the ideal. It's always tough listening to comments too. Like, how much are we talking about kind of a coaching cliche? How much of that is truly like unique to the Big Ten? But I do think there's certainly, like, if stopping the run works everywhere, it works extra well in the Big Ten as a basic example.
All right, we can chat here about a minute. I'm going to go back to something you said. If this game is played like a regular October, November Big Ten game, can Nebraska beat Northwestern?
I think it certainly decreases their chances. And I think, Gary, you mentioned a key thing in limited possessions, which certainly looks like the case here. But it's the case across college football right now. This is something I've been thinking about and we'll write about when we get a little bit of a lull in the schedule. But every interception, every dead drive is heavier now. Because you used to, 10 years ago, you'd count on 12 drives a game. Now it might be 9 or 10.
Yep.
And one of the things that's unique about that Maryland game is Nebraska could sustain 3 interceptions, including a pick six. That doesn't happen, especially now. So if Northwestern's able to control the clock and run the football and dribs and drabs, they're not a very explosive rushing offense, but they're a good success rate. Nebraska is not getting the kind of game it wants. So I look at this as, maybe they could win 24-20. They need to be at 30-21.
All right. Well, a lot of intrigue for the winner becomes bowl eligible on Saturday. As always, I appreciate the conversation, and you broke it down really well on Monday, Aaron, today, and we'll look forward to game day chat and the preview and all that stuff at a must go to counterread.com. Brandon, have a great week.
Thank you, Brandon.
You too, guys. Thank you.
Brandon Vogel from counterread.com.
Graphic Thursday tomorrow. I got it.
Wacky stat.
No, I got it.
Wait a minute. It's not Wacky Stat Thursday?
Yeah. Well, it will be a
How
wacky
can we brand
stat.
it?
It will be it's not going to be multiple stats tomorrow, though.
Will it be
'Cause
pretty?
I'm not going to tell you, but the conversation that you just had with Brandon, the conversation that we had earlier, I have it. I have what it's going to be.
All
You've
right.
inspired me.
Look forward to that. Do not sleep. Everybody stay up so that you can be with us at 6 tomorrow morning. Big thanks to our friends from Omaha Creighton Prep. Matt Raskorczyk. Check.
That was awesome.
The advisor. They'll be back in next week if you missed them. For Jimmy, for Matt, for John Walker, for Jay Moore, for Brandon Vogel, and the stuff construction that's going on in the background. I'm Gary. Crossover's coming up next.